That's all it is.
Yeah. I can fucking lure those faggots in, and then they'll have to go and see it.
This is the first time I'm trying something a little different than Mike, so we'll see what happens here.
Oh, hey, you're actually streaming on the Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to test out, like, the sound, what's it called? The levels.
Very loud.
Which Twitch are you streaming on?
Mike Snipe. It's the one in the stream only chat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much better.
Oh, I know why it's not streaming for me. I fucking turned off Flash.
I would in advance maybe turn down if you've got if it's goes. I would maybe turn down the volume for me just slightly because I am quite loudly spoken. It's just who my people are.
Flutter, you know you can manually adjust our volumes if you right click our names, right?
Yeah.
You fucking autist.
Okay.
No offense.
There. Okay. And then I've got I went and popped out the little chat room thing, so we've got a little area in the actual stream where people can see where they're talking and like the time that we see it.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I can hardly.
That's good because there's always like a 15-second delay.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
So we're moving over to the.
Yeah, we'll move over to the stream only chat.
Later, guys, if you're doing that right now.
Who do we have? We have Distorted, myself, Rav, and Seventh. That's it.
I think that's it.
Damn.
Rav, do you want to have?
Flame was going to be here.
I thought he was going to be here too, but I know he has a. I know he has a interview.
He did that. He did that already. I think.
So he'll be here.
Okay, he's marked as away. All right.
Yeah, he might pop in later on though.
All right, I'm fine with a small cast, but if it's teeny tiny, if it's only like 4 people, we could probably pull an Enigma. But
don't do that. He'll just spend all 2 hours talking about his stories.
That's pretty accurate.
I hope you guys do realize that the freaking arrogant facade I put up is just a facade, and not actually me.
Silly Enigma, you don't know French. Facade isn't a word.
My croissant.
Neither is women's rights, genocide, or Islamophobia.
Don't you guys know that there are more than 2 genders?
If I had £1 for every fucking gender, that I'd only have £2.
Is there is mayonnaise a gender?
I'll have you guys.
I have a picture for
Patrick,
you.
it is not a fucking gender.
I'll have you guys know that
identify as mayonnaise.
No, I sexually identify as a land shark.
I identify as a jackhammer, so.
Oh my god. Very upset.
That makes me moist.
That makes me hard.
Oh god. My ex used to have a couple of trigger words. One of them being moist.
Oh god!
I hate my fucking clipboard. It never copies what I want it to.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was so much fun to mess with my ex. All I'd have to do is walk up behind her and say moist. She'd get all grossed out.
There you go.
What?
That's a sign of a good boyfriend right there.
Picture for you, Enigma.
If I had a Roman Empire for every existing gender.
The ocean means you're gender fluid.
This is the good HIE podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where's the bad HIE cast?
I'm here. That counts.
They can't get their stream up because they're bad.
It's true. Alright, there's Toaster, but we're about to switch over.
Later, guys.
Oh shit, what?
Yeah, let's move over and we can work on getting started early or something. Alright, cool.
Shouldn't we drag? Okay, I was about to say.
There, we figured it out.
There we go.
Yay!
Where'd Rav go?
I don't know where Rav went. There he is.
Yeah, sorry, I'm on both computers and I forgot. I've got my headset hooked up to the other one.
I have put out a blog for I'm hoping this will draw people in because I've put I haven't even called it a blog podcast. I've just said, "Hey guys, I did a new picture." Also, there's a podcast at the bottom. I think they're quite nice, so fuck it.
Wait, new picture?
Yeah, I did a few sketches. Just here are a few sketches I threw together.
Oh, these look awesome!
Thanking you.
You're so good at art. I wish. Oh God.
I don't like the water style, I'll be honest. Also, it's not the best quality. I mean, that's only because I've just chucked it off. I've just nicked it off my patrons, so. Which, don't worry, you can be assured I'm not one of these assholes who has to say, "Hey guys, I've got a patron, so give me money."
Give me money. I'm gonna
No,
show
no,
this
fuck
here
that.
because they look awesome. It's like, oh my God, looks great. All right.
Oh shit, I lost a follower. Damn, now I'm only down to 1,651 followers.
Correct.
I'll never recover.
Oh right, I gotta post an actual, what's it called? An actual
Yep.
notification in the group.
Yeah. I find that tends to be the best.
Oh, what the?
Boom, made. Okay.
See, maybe I'm just
What's that?
naive, but when I do drawing, what I do is maybe I'm just naive in this, but when I draw, I tend to do it for the first month it stays from the patron, then after that I just throw it onto a therapy bear and then people can just view it for free. I know a lot of people do it where they'll cover up certain parts, say, "Oh, if you want to view this, you have to go to the patron," but I've never liked that. I've never liked the idea of if you want to enjoy fapping to something, you have to pay money for it. It's like, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck porn sites. I mean, Patreon.
Oh, Toaster renamed himself.
Oh!
Oh God, what did we do?
Correct. Oh.
Oh jeez.
No, we haven't officially started yet, Enigma. Okay, I've got all the questions up.
Sweet.
We can basically get started. You got everything all situated, Flair?
Yeah, I'm pretty much ready to go.
Alright, we're about 4 minutes early, but we can get started anyway.
We've got 6 people watching. Amazing.
So all 6 viewers, just us. Who knows?
Dude, you know what? It could fucking very well just be the 6 of us. I mean, how many people are in the chat?
We got Enigma. We typically average around 24 that do turn in, but they do know that it's usually not until about 6. Hey, Carrier. Carrier's silent.
So,
Hey, knife boy. You know, guys, I think knives are overrated.
I think guns are fucking overrated.
I think all weapons are overrated. We should
That's
love
true.
instead.
If you
Unless
catch
the weapon
someone
is my
has-
dick. Oh, there goes Carrier. Alright, there we go.
I think he's still messed up.
Yeah.
He's always messed up. What are you talking about?
He'll just pipe in at some random time and do that weird laugh he does. That one.
Called it.
You didn't call it, you ordered it.
Fair enough.
Alright, then I order you to order me a pizza.
Oh, and there's Flam. Cool. The gang's all here. This is what we
Already
get for
ordered a
waiting.
Pizza once, or was that Enigma?
That was Milk ordered Enigma pizza.
Yeah.
We're verified now.
I still love that he didn't even get him a soda. He just like
Got
bitched
him a
out and got him a
water.
Dasani water.
Yeah, Dasani. That was it.
He got him like
Water.
$40 worth of food, but he skimped out on the soda to get him Dasani.
But Dasani's expensive too, though. Like, why would you even
It's
do
like
that?
sewage water.
Yeah, it's not even good.
Yeah, and that's the same water we sell at the barbecue pit.
Flam, you have an echo.
It's expensive too, though. Like, why would you even do that?
Hey, what the hell? I can hear that in the background.
You need to mute your Twitch.
Who is that? Is it Flam?
I don't know.
I did it. Don't worry, I did it.
Okay. Yay! Good.
Hey, Flynn.
I'm gonna be talking, but I'm also gonna be playing, so I might not talk as much.
Okay. Sounds good. Just, do you have, like, push to talk or something?
Hey, Milk's in the call.
Yeah, he's listening. He's driving right now.
Fair enough.
Yes, Wolfblade, we can see your chat. And we've got the Interna. Oh, yeah, we've got people picking up now.
Sweet.
Alright, cool. Welcome to the Good HIE podcast, where the good in our name is pretty much just for show. This week on our podcast, we have myself, Flutter Priest. We have Ravage.
Yep.
We have Flam and Warfer.
Mm-hmm.
We have Carrier of Heartbreak. That was a breath or something, so that like worked. And Milk is out driving. He is just kind of chilling and being a stalker. And then we have Seventh Heaven joining us as well.
Hello.
This week our special guest is Distorted Flare.
Hello.
And we've got a whole bunch of questions to get through today that is out on our thread in the Good HIE list forums. If you have any questions, be sure to throw them into the chat. We've got some of us here that are watching them, and we can ask them to Distorted as well as our entire crew. Or just add them at the bottom of the thread, and we'll get to them, whenever we get to them. But first, we've got a set of questions that we'll direct just at Distorted Flare, since he's our special guest. First of all, Flare, what brought you into the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic fandom?
Well, I have to admit, it was actually a friend of mine who was out serving. I can't remember what war he was in. I don't really care at this point. But I remember I was playing a little bit. I was playing Halo Reach. I just goes to show how old. And he told me about how My Little Pony and how I should give it a watch. And I remember at the time being very skeptical, only because, My Little Pony, I was thinking from the first series, well, the first generation, which was just, for little girls, really. But I gave it a watch. And I got quite into it, and then I remember coming across this website by chance, actually, and just I saw the writing, and I'd always been quite a fan of. Writing, so I thought, well, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. I'll be honest, I'm not really that interesting when it comes to that sort of thing. So,
that's fair though. I think that's how a lot of people kind of get into the fandom. I'm also noticing you've got a little bit of robo on your mic. Could you disconnect and then reconnect quickly?
will do.
There we go. Try that.
Is he alive?
Oh no, it's the
guess it's
sound of
dead.
silence. That just killed everything.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, he's back. That sounds better. Alright, we'll move to the next question then. Why do you write? Is writing a hobby, a career, or silence? That just killed everything.
Hello.
Oh boy, we have some echoing now. Who was that? Okay. Question. So, why do you write, Flare? Is writing a hobby, a career, or both for you?
He says 1 second.
Okay, I see it now.
I thought Discord was the promised land of no technical difficulties.
Right, you
No,
think
it's
it
not.
was? Oh my god. Alright guys, so, Flare's back.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So what'd you guys think of the most recent episode while we're waiting for Flare?
Didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
I
I
thought
haven't watched any of this season or half.
Mike
of
is
last season.
ill. The driver was an alcohol.
Yeah, he said his mic is dead. I don't think it's Discord. I think it's his actual mic.
Oh shit, that's not good.
I'm fine.
Shit,
You
is your
can't
friend
really
Mike
control
okay?
that. Like he was talking fine when we were doing sound test.
Yeah, but he kept cutting out every so often, like just a few moments ago.
I hope Mike is okay.
So it's probably the cable.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
this is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
oh, did that work? I saw him talk.
It did seem to, I don't know what it was. It was a case of, it wasn't the mic. The mic works absolutely fine. It was a case of Discord would just keep going laggy for some reason. I couldn't get it to work.
That was
Did you use
weird.
the web version or the program?
I was using the web version.
would
That might be
why.
part
the
of
web
it.
version is garbage.
I might explain it, and I'm terribly sorry, but if I do cut out, I will try
Oh,
to
Jesus, what happened now?
switch over.
That was Mike.
Mike,
Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
Don't worry, we'll fix it in post. We're not going to fix it in
No, you
post.
won't.
No, we're not going to fix it in post at all.
There's no post.
We'll do it live.
Name ourselves to the Good Technical Difficulties podcast.
We could. Where everything's shit and nobody watches it.
Where my voice is
I
distorted.
thought we were talking about the podcast, not your life.
Oh, stop. That is my life.
wrong. Oh.
Anyway, I'm terribly sorry about that.
Should I load up some elevator music while we try to fucking fix this shit?
No, we can sing it. That's the quality of podcast we have. We'll sing our own elevator music. Anyway, no worries, Flair. We'll just keep going. So the next question was, why do you write? Is writing a hobby, a career, or just both for you?
It's nothing like that, actually. It was more out of spite, because when I came to this website, I saw
Hello,
many of your best
friend.
writers. Many of some of the best writers, you know, they had at the time about 2,000. I was like, it was quite an average between 1,200
I've
to
come
2,000
to talk
followers.
with you again.
And what it was that I wanted to pretty much just get followers to show anyone that anyone can write, really. I mean, I don't really have an interest that much in writing MLP. I mean, I can find it to be quite a chore at times. And with a lot of it, it was just a case of, to begin with, it was a case of, right, I'll write Klopp, and I'm pretty much guaranteed to get a shit ton of followers.
There we go.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. Obviously, now I quite enjoy writing.
Now it's just something you actually enjoy. Not to say you didn't enjoy it before, but
Very much. I do enjoy it. I always did enjoy it. It was just a case of, it was at the time, it was more of me just trying to see, I was just trying to get followers, really, just to show that, well, anyone can do it. Which is a bit prickish, but it was a bit
I'm
arrogant.
still
In that,
doing something.
yeah. It was arrogant, but it was arrogant at the time. But, you know, sod it, really. I mean, I've grown, really, as a person, and as a writer, I'm far better. Swift Wolfblade, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have.
yeah, we'll take questions from the chat.
Hmm.
What do you got, Swift?
Probably, can you shut the fuck up? Which I'm happy to do.
Yeah, so it's just like, just please kill yourselves. That'd be fantastic.
You just hear like a small splat.
Well, while we're waiting for Swift's question, I'll be watching the chat and grab it. What piece of writing are you most proud of, and what are you most ashamed of? And then we can get to the fun questions.
I'll be honest, to be 100% honest, the story that I'm most ashamed of, I'll do that first, would have to be The Lust of Mares. It was one of the first stories I ever wrote, I think over about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was actually a rewrite of another story that got something like 50 downvotes and like 3 upvotes. And the reason being is that at the time it was just like a sort of like a quick Klopp story. It was just meant to be one chapter. A dude, you know, bumps uglies with a Nightmare Moon, and it was just meant to sort of stop there. But people seemed to like it, and I was quite impressed. So I kept writing. The grammar was terrible. The storyline was absolutely abysmal. It didn't really add up. And just pretty much, it was something I'm to this day, I think I could have done a lot better, and I'm quite ashamed of that. The best story, and it's not actually one that I started, but I would have to say it's a toss-up between Dear Princess Celestia, which was originally written by another writer, which I took over and I've done about 3 chapters for so far, or Twilight Secret, which is another one, wasn't originally done by me, but I've taken it over. And the reason being is that they've really tested me. They've gone outside my comfort zone, which I think I've done quite well with them. I've got one of the stories about 5 times the rating it originally had, so I'm doing something right.
Right.
That's about it, really.
All right, fair enough. We've got the question from Swift Wolfblade from the chat. His question is, have you read a story called A Wolf's Story before? My username is the author. It's really amazing, and I really think you should check it out.
Oh, God. I denied that story.
One sec. I am more than happy to have a look before. A Wolf's Story, it's called.
Yes.
No, I'm more than happy to have a look. I must admit, I have not read the story, but a human turned into a wolf.
Right. I will say this.
It sounds a bit like a Displaced story. If I think that's the right one. I think it's a Displaced one where someone gets sent. And being 100% honest, I'm not too fond of that genre, but I'm more than happy to give it a read. Later on tonight when I'm free, and then I'll give you some feedback. But I do warn you, I can be quite vicious with feedback.
Well, I will say this. It's an interesting story, but it's not exactly what you would call a quality piece of writing. There are numerous things in it that need to be fixed.
Well, that's fair enough. At the end of the day, I'll be honest, I'm not really bothered by grammatical, or I just read for fun. It doesn't matter. It could be Charles Dickens, it can be H.G. Lovecraft, it can be some random writer on film fiction. I just enjoy writing. I enjoy what I like to think about. What was this person thinking when they were writing this, and I like to put myself in the character's shoes, even if it's like a black and red alicorn or some three-legged pony that has a stutter. It doesn't matter to me. I just enjoy envisioning myself in these people's characters. But please continue. I'm sorry, I'm rabbling on at the moment.
Oh, no, you're good. We're here to listen to you rabble on.
Yeah, that's a fun.
It's kind of the right thing to do. Also, you have another question from the chat, actually. Lunar Toaster, or Trying to Live, as he's shown in the Twitch chat. He wants to know what your favorite story is.
Christ, that's a hard one. I don't actually know what my favorite story means. I mean, I've got so many favorited now that it's kind of hard. But I would have to say one of the stories that I think really stood out with me, and one of the first, and it's probably going to embarrass the hell out of Rob, but it was actually My Little Dashie. That was one of the first.
Oh, Rob!
Oh, it's too bad he's not here. That would be hilarious.
Oh,
man.
You start fucking going on another drinking binge immediately.
Yeah. But the thing is, it is so diverse. My likes. It's kind of hard to sort of narrow down. But My Little Dashie was one of the first I ever read, and I actually remember feeling quite touched. I mean, I thought the way even though I look back on it now and there are a few mistakes, I thought it was beautifully. It was a bittersweet story, where the guy, it wasn't like a happy ending where everyone lived happily ever after. It was a case of where this guy, he did what was best for Dash, and I think he portrayed that beautifully. And the thing is, it's popular to hate the story now, but it got popular for a reason.
He hates the story.
I know he does. He despises the story, but being honest, like MIA, where George the Spartan gets sent to Equestria. Another one, I think it's Xenophilia. That was another one that actually inspired me to do my own stories, but more plot based, and also inspired the stories. A lot of the stories where I do, where it's like a mayor run society, because I quite liked how he put forward his universe. How it was more like the males were like the females, whilst mine's was more of a, the males were almost oppressed in a sense. Like it was before the suffragettes equivalent, really. And I must say, I've loved quite a lot of stories.
I think it's a good answer. I mean, those are some pretty solid stories. Does anyone else in here have any stories that they want to call out as being particularly good that isn't the town bike?
Soundbite.
Soundbite.
Probably
Uh,
Soundbite.
Oh, I think there was one I read recently, like kind of liked. Let me see.
This has been recorded, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
No
Did he-
consequences or unoriginality always stood out to me.
I
Alright.
always liked.
Alright.
I always liked Sunny Skies All Day Long.
I've never read that.
Oh, it's really cute. It's a Celestia story.
Huh, I will have to check that out.
I need to write a cute fic at some point.
Just
Do you know,
10
well-
cute.
the
Alright.
one thing seem to notice a bit is that people can be can be quite, judgmental bastards. I mean, I uploaded just a small blog a few minutes ago, and some fuckers complaining that apparently the breasts on on Starlight are too large or something. It's just a case of it's like you can't win with these people. It's just like I draw tits too small. No, that's too small. Too large. Too large. It's like, well, guys, you have to give me a common ground here. I'm going to draw them to the size that I think they will be.
Well, I mean, you can't make everyone happy all the time.
Yeah,
course not.
seriously.
Well, the biggest problem that I've found in that, especially because I'm an artist, is people tend to draw breast size on humanized ponies based on their personalities, which is fucking weird.
Yeah, I just go large and just be done
Yeah,
with it.
like, hey, this pony's shy. She totally has huge knockers that are bigger than her head.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
no,
stay away from my
Artist
headcanon,
draws
you
Fluttershy.
shit.
Let's be honest, I mean, if she hugged someone, she'd fucking suffocate the person.
Well, like,
I
I
go
had
dress by tits.
Yeah, Fluttershy's always had the large tits, but like in my head canon also, it's like Rainbow Dash is also has kind of like a dichotomy going on too. She either is like fucking flat chested lolly, or she actually has massive knockers too. I've seen no fucking in between.
I always imagined like Dash would have like just enough to be like she puts on her like running clothes because she's anthro, so she's a runner. And she's just like,
dude,
man, I hate
if
running
she's an
because it
anthro,
makes
if
my
she-
tits hurt.
Wait, if she was an anthro, wouldn't she still have her wings?
Stop. Stop trying to make sense of what I'm saying.
So, any other questions that you wish to throw my way?
There wasn't any questions in the chat really, so we're gonna go over to the thread. And this one's actually directed towards you. This question comes from W Lamb, who usually trolls the shit out of us, but actually has a very serious question for you. You should be honored. He wants to know, when will you be picking up, I guess it's a story called Twilight Secret again. He really liked it.
Well, Twilight Secret is pretty much, to give you a very brief, it's like where Twilight tries meat and she finds she likes it, so thus Twilight Secret. And for the story, I will be picking it up again soon, but it's just getting time really. I mean, I'm absolutely swamped with a lot of work at the moment. I mean, constantly getting people asking me to do commissions, to do posters, to do so on, so on, so on. So I'll get to it as soon as I can.
I'm more impressed when Lamb actually likes something on the site.
Right? Lamb just like normally blasts everyone.
He liked Cushy.
Hey, who doesn't like face sitting?
Oh God, is that the Anon and Equestria story where Anon is like a pillow?
Yes.
It's not Anon though. His name's Cotton.
Oh,
Fuck off.
Where'd you come from? Where did you go?
No, I'm thinking more of Hank Hill's father.
Where'd you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Yeah, his name is Cotton, fucking middle name I, and then fucking last name Joe.
Cotton Pig.
let's see. The next question comes from Nestor, I'm going to say, because the E is a 3. He says, I'm a new writer on the site, and I put out 2 stories, and one was a one-shot that was met with an alright reaction, yet my ongoing is hated, and they're of similar quality and style, and I don't get why. Can I get any idea why?
Well, I'll be honest. That's a bit of a broad question. I mean, it would require having to actually see the stories. And but I had a very quick glance, and what it seems to be is, one, a massive thing that people will pick up on is grammar. When someone's reading a bio, you want to make sure that the grammar is at its best there. And it can't be like 3-4 paragraphs long. It has to be something that's snappy. Otherwise, people are just going to go, man, fuck this, and move on. The biggest thing, is that it should catch someone's eye. And when writing, I mean, I'll be honest, you'd be much better asking Wanderer D, Rob, Abyss, other people who, these guys, they love writing more than me. But the biggest thing I think would be, don't go out there to try and, make a character that is who you want to be. Make a character that is relatable. Make a character that is a prick, in a sense. They have something like they might be racist towards people, or they may have, small insecurities. They might do something that make them relatable to people. And that's something that a lot of people... That's why a lot of your top writers are the top writers, because they know how to make people relatable. They know how to tell a story. They don't just say... this sheet is red. They'll explain it through how that person's experiencing and expressing it. As I said, I'm not a master at this, but that's just sort of my interpretation of it.
I think that's a pretty fair answer to give. Does anyone else want to weigh in?
I actually
I'd weigh in, but I might break the scale.
I opened up the story and took a look at it. Flair was like spot on. The main issue that I can see is that the story description doesn't have the best grammar, and for a lot of people, as soon as they read a story description that they think isn't good, they'll just downvote the fic, because that's how this website works for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I would like, honestly, grammar is probably the biggest issue that I can see.
But the thing is, even then, like, I can't remember the name, but I know What Must I Do? He wrote quite a good story. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what it is.
Oh, I know that guy.
In Before, Diaries of a Madman.
Diaries of a Madman. I must say, the story is good. I mean, he's got a solid understanding of grammar. He knows how to spin a story. But the problem I found with that was, one, it was far too long. I mean, like, they were getting like 10,000 words a chapter, and people they don't want to read that. It should be like 3 to about 5 at an absolute max. I tend to keep it about.
Yeah, he has a 30,000 word chapter in there.
He has a 70,000. What are you talking about?
Another one is that I felt at times he could waffle on a bit. Like he would draw out a point to a state where it's like, okay, we get it, move the fuck on. But as a whole, I can't speak ill of him. I mean, I think he's a great writer, and he's a bit of a dick. I mean, he's a bit of a... Not a lot seems to bother him, but, at the end of the day, he's an enjoyable dick to have around.
You kind of need to be like that on the internet these days.
Yeah.
Flam, did you have anything to add? I saw you were trying to get in a word.
Yeah, the initial, unfortunately, first impressions are kind of everything. It's like that in the real world. Put it this way: in the real world, if someone high up in the echelon of either a company or my school or whatever sends me an email and the heading is not capitalized, I almost immediately treat it as like half of what it should be worth. Like it's like, because to me it's just like, I mean, call me pretentious or whatever the fuck you want, but if you can't do something simple as capitalize an appropriate word, I mean, how can I trust you with the rest of the goddamn story?
Yeah, please, thank you. Like, ugh.
Like, capitalize your goddamn titles. Like, firstly, that's the first, and the appropriate words.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest, Flame, and I can agree with that. But I've had that. I mean, fuck, I did that with a couple of my stories. The Queen's Heart, I had none of the title capitalized, so I'm absolutely terrible for that sort of thing. I mean, my biggest problem is with past tense and present tense. I can actually tell the difference between there, and where now. So that's actually two and two. Before, I used to struggle dreadfully with that. Like, I would put like a TO to describe something and then TOO for another thing. It was just
right.
It was awful.
Hey, Priest,
So
you starting to feel that? Tense change.
Yeah, tense changes are definitely my major fucking deal when it comes to stories. Anyone will
It's really
probably
easy
tell
to
you.
do through it.
I feel like it's
on your
easy to
freaking
do,
tombstone.
and then some people are just like, "How can you make this mistake?"
It happens. That's how.
I'm the stickler for that myself. The point is, you have to figure out it doesn't matter how you write it. You just have to stay consistent. That's it.
It's
like
true.
I prefer writing in the past tense. But to switch things up, like if I'm trying to describe what's happening all the while, I switch to present perfect.
Oh yeah,
or-
yesterday, me and Priest were doing that collab, and he's sitting there, and he's like, "All right, the story's gonna be in, it's gonna be past tense, third person," and he is writing everything in present tense on accident.
I
I'm
was-
just slowly going behind him. checking
Yeah, he
everything.
was. I was just like, shit.
I saw-
And then he goes,
I mean-
hold on, I got this one. I'm like, damn it.
I
It
saw
was
Mithril
bad.
Boss shit on it. It was pretty funny.
Not to cut us off this wonderful topic, but there are two from the chat that I want to get to. Toaster asks again, distorted, rapid fire. Do you have any tips on just writing better in general?
I'll be honest, I think to write better, it's subjective really. It's what do you want to get out of this? If you want to be like a, oh Christ, what's it, like Skywriter, like that guy, like he as well as like Derek, who's a good friend of mine, and I guess like they take their writing quite seriously. You know, they still, some of them sometimes make mistakes, but they take it quite seriously. If you're more of a laid back writer, I think the biggest thing you can do is just make sure your grammar and your punctuation is up to scratch, because people are more forgiving. But at the same time, the story has to be interesting. It has to be a common balance. Like, you can make a few mistakes. I mean, Christ, some of the stories I've made have been absolutely awful for grammar, but because they had a telling story that might not have been written the best, but were engaging and people they wanted to find out more, it skyrocketed through the feature box, and I think it went on to get about 2,000 likes and I think about 300 dislikes. So the biggest thing you can do is try and make the story engaging and fun, but at the same time, make sure that it's at least legible. That's all I would say.
I know sometimes people have a lot of problem with pacing and flow, getting things to feel natural.
Yeah, speaking of pacing, I'm just gonna say, if you ever upload a story and all of your chapters are less than 1,000 words, nobody on the website is going to take you seriously.
Nope. Unless it's
Not
a
unless you
thousand.
niche.
Unless it's 1,000 shots, like it's like a 1,000 words.
Yeah, if it's just like little tiny.
Yeah,
unrelated
if it's a big compilation of
Sure.
flash fictions, because flash fiction,
Anthology. We're
Well,
looking for an
flash
anthology.
fiction
What
is
about
a
that one?
format, but I mean it has to be done correctly.
Yeah, it's funny because most of the time when I see it, it's talking about this huge adventure and these people are going to learn so much, and then the chapter's like 300 words.
Yeah.
Like Shadowblade. Flair, what were you
Oh,
gonna say?
I was going to say, like, for certain stories that works. For example, there's one where, like, Anonymous, he looks after a filly, Nightmare Moon, which I can't remember the name of the title.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Moody
like-
Shorts?
Right? Is
And
that-
the 9 times out of
Moody
10,
Shorts,
they're rarely over 800 words, but it's just small wee insights into their life, and over time you build up of who these characters are just from interactions. I think that's quite a good way of storytelling. It's just small individual stories. It's sort of like her having a bath or her playing pretend with her adopted father and all that. Mooney Shorts, thank you.
Yeah,
Anna.
Mooney Shorts. That's the big thing.
I said that.
by Apes.
I said it too.
because
I know, I didn't hear. I apologize.
we're now once again zero casts without mentioning Mooney Shorts, which is just the way we like it here.
The biggest, to finish it off with the writing, I think the biggest problems that people run into is that people see stories like they see stories that maybe aren't the best written, like some of my stories, stories by other people. I'm not going to name names because that's a bit dickish of me. That are good, like they're fun to read, but they're maybe not the best in quality. You know, they're not up there with some of the the legends of film fiction. And people think, well, if they can get fame from writing that, I can as well. And then they try to emulate that. They try to say, hey, can I use your universe or can I use your characters? Or they'll try to tell stories like, oh, mine, Jason Bourne, ex
Hey,
SES,
son.
like 14, at like 14, and then he goes to a question and kills Celestial. Like they get such a worked up that they try to cram it in as quickly as possible. Which, coming back to, I think it was Flamens and Seventh. Pacing is key to writing.
Oh,
I mean-
I had an input on that.
Go ahead.
That's actually one of my hardest things to do is pacing, timing, and all that other fun stuff. Because you guys have read some of my stuff. Sometimes, and Enigma can quote me on this, but when I wrote My Mother's, the pacing was just so fast on the second chapter, and the majority of the story just kind of flew by, and I didn't mean it for that. And we went back and we edited it, and I'm like, damn, there's so much that I missed because I was writing too fast. Things that were in my head that were not on the paper, And I find the best thing to fix that is to imagine what you're writing to be playing out in front of you. Imagine it to be a scene that you're watching,
Like a
not
movie.
like on TV. No. A movie's a bad example.
Movie
Because-
very bad. You've got 2 hours to
Yeah.
tell a story. Not good.
Well, it's not even that. It's movies are paced differently, and they have scene changes within a particular act because
Quite
this camera
rapidly.
will be used. Yes, you'll get from behind one person's head, then from behind another person's head, and essentially what that is an omnipotent POV, which is not something you want to do in a story unless you're really, really good at it, or unless your POV is the storyteller. So what you want to do when you write a story is you want to write it from the point of view of watching a scene play out in front of you, of watching two real people having a conversation.
And if you're, I think the big thing, I know this might not be as widely known, but I find walking simulators, I know it's going to sound absolutely ridiculous, but walking simulators can be great for pacing, simply because when you're in a walking simulator, you move about slowly, you're observing things, so I want people to say, right, you're in a room, okay, explain the room, there's a desk, okay, what's on the desk,
Tell
what's
me
it
what's
doing?
going
Why has the desk got significance, you were saying?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing it has to be is, is it cold? How cold is it? Describe the cold. Don't just say it is cold. Say how is it cold? Why is it cold? Is there a
Cold as
window open?
nipples.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is kind of a
sharper
crutch.
than daggers.
Well, and
I got
here's kind
those-
of a crutch. Here's kind of a crutch about explaining things, is you end up with, all right, well, so I've got to explain this, and I've got to make it, so that the character is relating to it. Do yourselves
But
a
not
big
boring.
favor. Yes. Don't make it boring. Don't make it like every little thing reminds them of something else. Only
You're
the
not
key
autistic.
things.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're not autistic. You don't need to fucking say, oh, look, a pen. Oh, look, another pen. Holy shit, there's a third
The
pen.
point on this
Is it a full box of
Motherfucker!
pens? Look at this bic.
My god!
Look at
There's
this.
even pens on the floor.
Look at this big black bic.
Holy shit, there's a non-pencils in the corner masturbating.
That's
That isn't-
that's right.
Oh, that's so terrible because I've met her. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Picture that when you're going to bed tonight. Seriously, it should. The one of the biggest things I think novice writers run into is that they list off the characters. Oh, this is Shadowblade. He is this high. It's like, no, you don't do it. You don't list off. It's not a fucking wanted poster. And even then, like, you don't discuss what they use. Like, you have to do it naturally.
Ooh,
If your
here's-
character's looking into a mirror, describe their face, but do it naturally. Like, like blue orbs. I'm not really going to describe because I can't think on my
No,
feet. But like it,
Here's a good way of doing it. Rather than describing the character's features like a profile, describe it from their point of view. Like, say,
exactly.
your character is talking to someone. Say they have to look up. Like they're looking up at this person, and they notice this about
Like
this.
first, I was saying, like straining their neck to look at them in the face, something like that. So it instantly, right, this person's smaller.
yeah, it's
Hey.
The
telling.
person they're talking to is really, really tall.
It's a case of showing rather than telling.
Exactly. I mean, for example, like if you want to describe them as having a limp, maybe have it so you describe how whilst they're walking, the sort of the twinge a little bit, and then sort of grasp their leg a little bit, so it's implied that there's something wrong with the leg, and then you can go into more, even other characters, describing them to them. So like someone says, I've always loved the color of your eyes, and then sort of they give an example of it. I'm not perfect at it, but it's still a lot better than just saying, this is Tom, he is 6'3", he has dual wielding pistols and katanas. It's like, yeah, that's fucking great.
He's also black and red.
Why do,
Feels in
you know,
his
why do, no, but the thing is, you go, why do I care? Well, how is that relevant to what I'm reading? The first time I should hear that someone has a weapon is when they're either using it or showing it off, like threatening
Or buying
to use it. Or buying it, exactly. Or selling it, blah, blah, blah.
At this point, that's just like Carrier's self-insert story.
Yeah, because every single one of his
Exactly.
stories is
Gucci.
probably about an OC with like a knife cutie mark, right?
No, it's a hand grenade, don't you know?
This is talking about Coochie, right?
Yeah. No, it's a fucking Sonic OC for a fucking cutie mark.
Oh my god.
An OC within an OC. OC Inception.
Oception.
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 I don't want to cut off any of this wonderful
No,
writing thing,
please.
but we have a metric shit ton of questions.
Let's get on with it.
And this is probably the most like in-depth like writing podcast we've ever done, so this is like really good. But I'm gonna try and work through some of these thread questions here. I think this question's directed towards me, unless anyone else in here has a story called "A Letter from a Friend."
Yeah, that would be for you.
The person's asking if I could please write a sequel, and I don't have plans for that. Office Love, when, and all that. Now, these questions are from a non-pencil who is in the chat right now, shitposting along with us. The first question is, what piece of writing are you most ashamed of? And we already asked that.
Well, we'll hear that. Well, it would have to be Lust and Mares, or I must say it might be the Saint Darker Paths. It was like I tried to do a spin-off of it. It was just a lazy spin-off, so I'd probably say one of those.
The next question after that is, oh, this is a really good question. How can people who care too much about haters care less?
By taking it and by looking at it, by looking at it from just look at it and just say these are people on the internet wasting their time berating you. You're not a professional writer, so them saying, well, you're a shit writer. Well, I'm not a professional writer, and if you are, say, well, rather than insulting, I always say, look, if you're going to insult me, at least criticize my writing. Don't just say you're shit and move on. If you truly want to care less, just look at it like this. These people, you will probably never meet them. These people have written a mean thing. Ignore it. Move on. That's it to a T, really. It's just move on. Ignore them. They can't hurt you. Sticks and stones and all that shit.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Honestly, you're going to run into people that all they're there to do is
Just
to make you
jackasses.
miserable because they're miserable. And those kind of people, they're assholes and they're everywhere. So ignore them. That's honestly,
Hate them.
that's the funnest way to mess with them is to ignore them.
I mean, it's the fucking internet too. It's not like that's just on FimFiction. That's literally every website on the internet.
The biggest thing you can take away from this is that take everything with a grain of salt. People on the internet, because it's anonymous, like we're all anonymous for the most part, you can be far more cruel than you normally would. So just look at it like this. These people are just being pricks, and treat them as such. Just say, you're a prick, block them, move on, and don't let words hurt you. Because at the end of the day, the only people who you should care about what they think of you are your friends, your family, and people you're close to. These people are the staples in your life. They mean the most to you. Everyone else can go suck a bag of dicks.
I couldn't summarize it better myself.
You can provide an example for us. Some kind of visual aid, maybe.
I'll get my fucking writing. I'll get my drawing cap on straight away, and I'll draw you a guy sucking a bag of dicks.
Speaking of bag of dicks, it's time to raise our dongers because the next question is fantastic. Which pony do you think is sexiest, and why is it Granny Smith? Go.
Well, I have to say Granny Smith is the sexiest because she's got age behind her, as well as the fact that, well, she's fucking Granny Smith. I mean, she's badass.
Plus, have you seen her in the flashback? She's fucking adorable.
Oh my
she was
god!
Hot in the flashback,
and she's got all that experience.
I would have liked to have seen her as an adult. I'll be honest. Like, I would have liked to seen her when she's a fully grown adult. Like even like her. And I'd love to see Applejack's parents. Either it be, well, obviously Granny Smith has had kids. I would love to see what part they played. Well, I would love to find out what happened. I mean, I understand. Obviously, they can't just say, "Hey, kids, Applejack's parents got ass raped by men."
They got Disney.
Or drowned in apple cider. But at the very least, like, it's sort of like, why don't they do Disney? You know, where it's like, when the death's about to happen, they sort of cut away, and it's sort of like they use visual, sort of like maybe like a wee locket being thrown on the snowy ground, or maybe a wee ribbon that the mother has on her neck, sort of like just drifting away. Just something that gives people a bit of closure of what the fuck has happened to our parents, or even if it was just a case of our parents are a pair of jackasses and just fucked off, really.
I love how this question went from why is Granny Smith sexy to why are her children dead?
Well, that's our podcast, everyone.
Let's be honest, that is the natural progression.
Hold on. Have any of you noticed how you're all talking about both Applejack's parents as if they were both from Granny Smith?
Well, no, I mean, I know for a fact only one of them's from Greenwich. Well, the thing is, they are country folk, so that could very well be the case.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could have some weird, like, family tree nonsense. I could see that happen. Buy some apples.
Exactly. For all we know, Applejack's parents could be Pinkie Pie's parents who just fucked off and left Applejack with her kids, and then had Pinkie Pie in the lot.
Oh my god.
Is it alright if I give it a serious answer, Priest?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, I don't generally think of the ponies themselves as sexy. Like, if they're anthro or humanized, then sure. But if I did have to pick one, it would probably just be Cadence or, like, Fleur de Lis, someone with that kind of model.
Yes! Cadence! Thank you so much!
Because their model just implies that they're a really fancy, kind of beautiful pony for their
It's the third year, and you're being this much of a plebe.
I'll be honest, the ponies I've always found it would have to be Nightmare Moon, Chrysalis, just because I've always kind of liked that evil. With evil, but the thing is, they were always wittier, I think, than most of the do-gooders. Because let's be honest, you're not exactly going to get a fucking engaging and witty, like, shit fight with Applejack or fucking Rainbow Dash, are you? Twilight, maybe. Rarity would be more snide. But being honest, I would have to say either Chrysalis, Nightmare Moon, or I agree with Cadence. Cadence is a favorite.
Yes!
Birds of a feather.
She's a MILF.
Vote Cadence for 2016! Sorry.
Oh yeah, she is a MILF now, that's true.
It's the fucking...
Oh shit, that means I gotta write her into my story now. What? That's literally what it is.
Right, so moving on before we get into any
Moving
more.
on, how do you guys feel about dragon boobs coming from Enigmatic Otaku?
Oh god.
Dragon boobs, well, it depends really. I mean, if the dragon's anthropomorphic, then fuck it, I'm up for it. I mean, I've been wanting to draw more dragon characters, but I've just been more focusing on the ponies. I'd actually like to I'd like to try drawing sirens, dragons, hell, even griffins would be quite fun.
Well, don't bother with Ember. She's just fucking Gilda Part 2 Electric Boogaloo, so...
Yeah, she is, but she is also hotter.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, and
I'll be honest, this is going to sound ridiculous, but I always sort of thought of Ember and Spike's episode a bit like, and this is going to sound really autistic, a bit like the Spyro game where, Spyro and Cinder have to work together. The reason being is that, you got a purple dragon who's a bit naive, bit of a jackass, but brave. I mean, you've got Spyro right there, and you've got Cinder... Or Ember. I mean, fuck, even their names are similar.
Ember, it was the one in the Hero Sale that was voiced by Terrence.
Yeah, the best Ember, better than the one from MLP.
Yeah, the thirsty one.
Man, now I can't play a single Spyro game like ever again. I'm just gonna think it's Spike and just like I'm just gonna be like, time to run you off a cliff, Spyro.
Exactly. Well, the thing is that's what always like Spike's a bit of a bitch. Let's be honest, but I think at heart he has got he's a good character once. You look past the fact that in the newer episode they've just made him into a laughingstock. I mean, I've never really had much of a problem with him.
I liked his dynamic with Starlight in the season 6 premiere. I thought they were cute together.
I want Starlight and Spike to become best friends and go away forever.
Go jump off a cliff again. I take the pink thing with
Priest, how you're friends with Famous and I is fucking beyond me.
I don't fucking know. All right. Well, let's go to the next question. The next question, these are all from Baritone now. Number one, which fanfic author would you have sexy time with, Distorted?
Oh, fuck, well, being bisexual and also being quite, not having many standards, probably most... I'd probably go with Mr. 101, I think it's Midnight Dancer, Abyss, Wander D. We could probably be here all night. Probably Flaming Werfer, Water Priest. Anon Pencil, maybe. I don't know. I've never met Anon Pencil. She could be a complete cunt. So.
Well, you have 2 or 3 people in here who know her personally?
Truth.
Maybe something like that. But just as a whole, be honest, if I can have a laugh with someone and I can get along with them, then I'm always fucking up for shit.
All right. The next question is, why is Carrier of Heartbreak so handsome? And
Yes.
I'm not
Who that
going to
is,
ask
but-
this to the guest because this is a meme that we always get. So I have a 6-sided die that I'm holding right here. And from top
No,
to
you're
bottom,
not.
yes, I do. I'm going to ask this question to whoever rolls the dice. And it came up with a 6. So 7th, why
Doesn't make
is
sense.
Carrie of Heartbreak so handsome?
Why is he so handsome?
Yes.
Because I just think it's really sexy when he talks about knives, and I want to just bang him like every minute of every day.
I am the sharpest knife in the shed.
All right. Next question, Distorted. I just had a strange feeling that you might, so I thought I'd ask. Do you like boobs, Lenny Face?
I do not, in fact, like boobs.
Ow.
I'm actually more of an ass man.
So
I thought
you
you'd say
discount
like a
the
foot
one for
fetish.
the other?
Well, the thing is, don't get me wrong, I like a good combination of the both, but I'm more of an ass man than I am boobs.
So
Honestly, I'm the same, but
guys, like let's take an official Good HIE List podcast stance. Is the boobs or the butts better?
Neither. It's legs.
two.
Ooh, I'm actually with 7th on that.
I'm a leg man.
Feet?
See,
Who
I
said
get-
feet? Get out.
Priest, you like them thin and pink, don't you?
What?
You like
But
them thin and pink?
but overall, I'd actually prefer
would
they
say-
have a cute face than a perfect body, because you could have the most perfect body but be the most unattractive person on the fucking planet.
You could
I
be
look
a
like
pretty
a-
nice vegetable,
I mean,
too.
let's be honest, you could look like a pug that's licked piss off of a nettle.
Oh my god.
Okay, but for all intents and purposes, assuming all other attributes equal.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I like thighs. I like, if a lassie has quite nice thighs, I mean, that's probably just because of a fetish I have for, like, Amazonian-based women, so I want
Yeah,
a
There
woman
you
who
go, he's a
can...
leg man.
I don't know how to piss off pencil. Whenever you
What's
say intents and purposes, say intensive purposes.
Intensive
God.
purposes. Alright.
This is how everything gets ruined. You realize.
It's time to stop.
So, the next question is: which film fiction author would you like to have a fist fight with? Oh God.
So this is basically, who do you fucking hate?
Yes.
I'll be honest,
You
there are
piece
very-
of shit.
I
For
think I know
saying
who I'd
intents
have
and
a fist fight
purposes,
with.
I will kill you. Don't you even.
very, very few people that I hate. I have to admit, there are a few people that I hate, but I'd have to say it would have either be a toss-up between Reality Check and
Oh god.
maybe Sir Hat. Like Sir Hat, I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think he's a bit of a pretentious dick. So maybe not him, but it'd have to be him or I can't remember the other dickhead's name. I mean that goes to show how little a lot of the people mean to me.
What about Flutter Pony?
Well, the thing is, Flutter Pony, I just feel he's more of a tragic guy. I mean, he's a little weasel, and I think he does go out his way to push the boundaries, and I would obviously never leave him around kids, but he's a bit too pathetic to fight.
That's like worse than actually hitting him in the face.
I don't know. By that logic, Reality Check is pretty pathetic too, because he's wasting his life on a horsefic website making fun of people.
Exactly. I mean, the thing
Yeah.
is, my thing is, I don't even hate him because he hates gays. I mean, fuck it, hate who you like. I mean, the thing is, if you want to hate gays, go right ahead. That's fine with me. Everyone should be allowed to hate who they want. I mean, I personally hate ignorant people, but they're allowed to be ignorant. I think the best thing you can do for these people is shine a light on them. Let people see how ignorant and stupid they are. But the thing is, for the reason I want to fight is because he's such a pretentious prick, and he honestly thinks he thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, he
That's
didn't he make a blog or something where he moved all of his stories and then he got mad
He
when
did.
people didn't want to go to that stupid website?
Yeah, that's pretty much what he did. And the biggest reason was because he felt like he was being oppressed. Well, what it really was, he wanted special treatment.
He was
had
mad because he stole a section of someone's story. I can't remember. I think it
And
was
got banned.
Explosions.
I thought he did it
It
several.
was, I think.
Yeah, he
it-
just stole a complete section, reworded it a tiny bit, and then didn't even mention anything about it to short skirts, and then just got butthurt when the mods banned him.
Oh
But
shit.
the thing is, he expects to get special treatment. But the thing is, he was like, "Oh, I will not be given." Like his big thing was that he thinks that by taking his stories off of it, like the admins and 90 won't be making as much ad money. I mean,
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
what he
a fucking
said.
talk about an inflated ego. I mean, fuck. I mean, even if let's say every follower he had stopped going on FimFiction, at most 90 might lose a couple dollars, and that would be it. And that's really generous. I'll be honest. But they're not. Most of these people are going to continue to stay there. They've not lost anything. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling on.
No,
again.
it's all good. Next question.
Rowdy Check actually pissed off a bunch of people in my stories comments.
You pissed off a lot of people when you ended fucking that one story. Oddly,
I didn't. It was just April Fools.
I'll be honest, but the thing is, this is the biggest thing though, is that I can piss people off, but I'm likable enough that people are willing to forgive me. For example, on 9/11, like on one of the anniversaries of 9/11, I posted a picture of Cleveland in a bath going no, 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 whilst he goes down the Twin Towers.
Oh my god!
That obviously, and the thing is, at the end of the day, I wasn't making fun of the fact that people died. I mean, what happened was an absolute tragedy. It was awful. What I was making fun of was the fact
Black
that
people.
most of these people who are getting upset didn't even lose anyone. The thing is, other than oh no, what happened in America, these people have no reason.
Not to mention, these people are on a fucking pony website, so like I'm gonna guess at least like 40% of this website wasn't even alive when 9/11 happened.
Oh god, it's true.
And these are the same people who are just like, you guys have no right to make fun of that. You don't know what 9/11 was like.
posted in the chat.
Like, I was in class and I saw that shit happen live on TV. That was tragic, but
I was in first grade.
I think
like
at the time, I was about 5 years old. I came in because I remember it had been happening. My mum had been watching it the whole day, and I came in. I remember saying, "Oh, is that 9/11 pish still on?" Now I was young, and I had no idea like how horrific it was. But I was a kid. I didn't know any better.
Well, damn, you all are a bunch of young fucks, aren't you? Because I remember walking into the room at about 15 years old, and you know, I had just gotten done with some of my homework, and I walked into the front room, and that was happening. It's like, oh shit, you know.
That was kind of how it was for me. My father woke me up and was like, wake up, you have to come see this. And I came out to the room, and then he just swore. It was the first time I'd heard my father swear loudly in the home. And he just went, I have to make some calls, because he realized we had business associates in the towers. So it was bad.
I remember I had a tummy ache that day when I was in the 4th grade. Silence.
I'm gonna continue here. Honestly, the worst part about that whole ordeal was the fact that I felt so helpless because I could not do anything, and all I could do was watch. That was probably, and I will say this, that was the worst part of it for me, because I'm not there. I can't do anything. So honestly, I left. I went and I did something else, and every so often I would come back to check to see what was going on. But past that, I just kind of walked away from it because I was helpless. I really couldn't do anything.
But heck, I'll still laugh at the jokes. I will definitely still laugh.
One thing I will say
yeah.
Is that everyone talks about the rescue services in New York and praises them, but a lot of people seem to have forgotten about the people who tried to take back control of the plane and it crashed.
Oh, I don't forget that. Fuck, no one.
Because they probably apparently that one was going to be piloted into either the White House or the Capitol building.
No, yeah, seriously, who forgets those guys? I don't know anyone who forgets it.
There are some people who just never mention that, and it's odd to me.
How do we?
Sorry about that. My mic's.
What are we doing, guys?
I don't even know. Like, we got stuff. We were talking about fistfights, and now we're talking about 9/11. Let's move to the next question.
Next question.
Well, I'm gonna do these rapid fire ones, and we can just not comment on them at all, and then we can get to the serious question that Baritone has. Why is Kane's best princess?
No, it's not.
Changelings or bat ponies?
Bat ponies. Fuck you all.
Yeah, bat ponies.
Bat ponies, actually. Yeah, I would agree that bat ponies are.
We already asked personal favorite story that's ever written. Is a comment worth more than a like or favorite?
Yeah,
I think the comments. It truly does. If someone says this is the best, would you put my OC in
It's
this?
like getting a
That's worth
comment.
about-
Cool.
That's worth about a dog turd on a bit of toast. So, of
And then Baritone also wants to know if you'll sign his dildo.
course I will.
Okay.
After I've had my use of it.
What would you be doing if you weren't riding a pony?
What would I be doing? Well,
I'm not hearing distorted flare. Are you guys?
I am.
One sec.
Oh, so I just need to refresh. Thank you.
It happens. What would I be doing if I wasn't writing? Well, the thing is, nothing would change. I mean, it would just be a fact that I wouldn't be writing pony. That would be it. I'd probably be spending more time writing on fan fiction. Fucking heaven forbid! But I haven't written on that for years.
Thank God, huh?
But yeah, well, the thing is, I don't mind it. I mean, there's some really good ones on it. Like, there's one called it's not Raptor DNA. It's pretty much about the Indominus from Jurassic World. If it turned out it wasn't just a bloodthirsty monster, it's a pretty good read actually. But as a whole, I might probably be spending more time doing work when I shouldn't. But
I was going to say I spend my time getting wasted, but I do that anyways while I write.
I would probably be crying deeply. Silence.
You do
Good
that
joke.
anyway,
Clap. Clap.
I have to say, I do. I'm under oath to answer these questions from Q because I did promise him I would. He's an asshole, but love him.
Yeah, so we do have these questions from Q next, and I'm actually I'm a little scared of that second question, but let's go through them. Number 1, are you werewolf enough for a silver bullet to kill you?
No, because nothing can kill me.
Cool.
Oh, there you go. Shit.
Let's go to the drama question, and hopefully you can dodge this like a champ, or else we're gonna get political here.
All right.
Flare, honey, dear, Snugglepuss, what's your complete and honest opinion of Parasprite?
I think Parasprite is a trolling fucking asshole, but that's why I love her. That's truly why I love her. I think she can be very manipulative. I think she can she can abuse her friends at times, and I think she's quite good at spinning stories. But by the same token, I pity her to an extent because I think she's had a really shit life, and obviously with that horrible thing that happened recently with her, which I won't go into detail because it's not my place to say. But I think Para has had a lot of shit in her life, and I think she's made coping mechanisms to deal with that. And being honest, I said pity her. I don't so much pity her as that. I feel like I think it's a bit unfairly what's happened to her. I think I empathise with her because I can't. I empathise because I have tried to put myself in her shoes and I understand what she's going through. But by the same token, she can be a fucking asshole at times. But as I said, that
is no excuse for being a cunt, though, in my opinion.
That is true. There's no excuse for being a cunt. But by the same token, it doesn't affect me so much as long as she's not going out her way to like hurt people, which has happened in the past, and we've been quick to pick up on it. I think as a whole, I think Para is getting better. I think she's been more tolerant towards people, so there's definitely improvements. But obviously, no one here is perfect, so fuck it.
Except you, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, except me. That is my honest opinion on it.
I think that explains it pretty well.
Yeah, that was very well handled, very diplomatic of you. Well done.
Good. The next question is, if you could a would a chugga chugga, would a chugga chugga coulda would?
Yes, I would. Next question.
Next question is, bitch, how have you not met me?
No, I haven't actually met him. Not in real life.
Then the next question was, would you put a gun to my head to get me to ask a question?
Probably, yeah. Then again, I'd put his gun to head for a fucking turd in a bag.
Somebody gets no man a turd in a bag.
The thing is, there's no reason to ever pull a gun on someone. Trust me, I will take any reason to pull a gun on that cunt.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're on to our next questions. We're doing Choco Loco. And I think this is probably my favorite question of the cast that we've seen so far, and I'm gonna talk with Milk to put this on our standard questions for people who are outside the US. He wants to hear your best American impression, Distorted.
More toes.
That'll be enjoyable. Give me a sec. I mean,
the funny thing is, he can only make one of one region. Really,
I'll be honest.
It's probably going to end up being like upper Texas.
Just push a bunch of air into your cheeks.
Let's hear it.
Alright, let's hear it.
I apologize. I apologize in advance if it's shit. Then I do apologize.
No apologies.
I think America should be for Americans. I can do accents. I really can.
Fucking America!
You should go back to Night Dallas and do that.
Obama's a Muslim who come here to take the benefits from the God-fearing Christians to give to them ISIS.
Oh my god, it's wonderful.
Duck Dynasty.
Oh my
I'm
god!
going to echo what Chuck Wardman said when Chuck Wardman is in the chat, and he says, and I quote, "I want to feel your accent on my dick."
I have not heard that today.
Oh,
I
I'm
heard
Yes,
dying.
mommy, Kitty's hungry. We will buy new cat.
That was wonderful. Thank you.
All right, the next question is, what do you think of anime?
I'll be honest, I'm not a massive anime watcher. I get kind of sick of this shit where it's like, I've got big tits, therefore I have no personality. I'm gonna, like, some guy did a beautiful example of it where, like, the ecchi shite, where it's like, a guy hands her a sandwich. No man's ever handed me a sandwich like that, and then for some reason just instantly in love with him. Like, that's not how it works. It's like, a harem of females. What did you do? Well, I picked her up when it was raining. I bought her a drink and I just said hello to her, and now they're all madly in love with me. And unfortunately, because I'm a Japanese anime guy, unlike every other guy in the world, I'm actually a fucking prude and won't have sex till marriage. And it'll be like like tranquilized bed sheets fucking.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
But that's literally what it is. It's a case of
That
it's like,
That is
why-
90% of anime now.
I'll be honest. If any chick went right, where the fuck did you put your pants? I'm like, hon, I took them off when we started this conversation. There's no fucking about with it. I don't fuck about when it comes to that. It's like, if someone says, do you want sex? I'm like, well, yes.
Yes.
I've never understood. But as a whole, I think anime can be enjoyable. I mean, I've been watching Overlord, I think it's called. Pretty much some dipshit gets sort of trapped in a game. But it's been quite enjoyable.
I'm very specific about it.
My favorite anime is Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. See, mine's is actually Cory in the House.
Yeah,
I thought that was over.
Over?
Trust me, I'm on
Over,
funny
come
drunk.
on.
Trust me.
Next.
Next.
Yeah.
All right, rapid fire. Distorted. What games are you playing right now?
Well, I'm actually playing a lot of PS2 games, so at the moment I'm playing Alien vs Predator, Extinction, Predator Concrete Jungle. I'm playing a bit of Halo Wars and a couple of the newer ones.
Halo Wars is god tier.
I love Halo Wars, I really do.
Was surprisingly very good, and I've enjoyed every minute of playing it.
Well, the thing is, I don't really like what they've done with the Halo Wars 2. It looks a little bit too But Halo Wars is good, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Might have watched School Days. But as a whole, I must say, I enjoy the older generation of games. It was a game where like you finished the game and you unlocked shit. It wasn't a case of you finished the game, pay us a couple quid and we'll give you extra shit to do.
Oh yeah, that's why I love busting out my old PS2 playing the old Ace Combat games.
Well, guys, I must warn you, we've got a shit poster in here. Chuckward, my good friend.
Oh boy.
Do you like me? Well, Chuckward, baby, you know I love you.
Aww.
So actually,
There's
that ties
romance
in.
this chat.
That ties into the next question. Do you have a special someone in your life, Flair?
Not at the moment, no. I'm single at the moment, which is probably for the best, because personally I fucking hate most human beings, so...
There you go, Chuck. Go for it.
You heard it here first. He's eligible.
I'm not a human being. Do I count?
Yes. No, you don't count.
I'm not a human being. I'm a beast.
Your ass is open game.
All right.
Seriously, no.
Go ahead.
No. It's just seriously though. As a whole, I'm always open to me. I go for someone who can make me laugh. That's about it.
That's
You know what'll
pretty good
happen,
standard,
Carrier?
actually.
He's only saying you don't count Carrier because he met you online. If you met him in real life, he would instantly just say, "All right, we need to see other people."
My penis made the windows shutting down noise when I saw him.
It would shrivel up like a grape in the sun.
No, it would shrivel up like the fucking Wicked Witch with water thrown on it.
All right. So the next questions are coming from the Zealot.
And they're also pretty... yeah.
What's your favorite way to make pancakes?
Implying I fucking make pancakes and don't just buy them at a store.
Man, I was gonna make pancakes after this cast.
I made pancakes once, I think. I think I fucked them up, but...
Priest, why are you making pancakes for dinner?
Well, because I've lost control of my life.
Okay, that's reasonable. I thought it was going to be chicken tendies for you.
Right, I was... Oh, wow.
Fuck,
That's
How
sick
many good boy points
burn!
do you have, Priest?
Next question.
No good boy points for you. Alright,
yeah,
next
apparently
question.
Priest has 0.
What is your favorite cartoon series that's not MLP, Flair?
Christ, that's something. I'd have to say, it's going to sound silly, it was the Yu-Gi-Oh series, I think, and I've been rewatching them recently, but I really liked the original Yu-Gi-Oh series that had going, even though it was fucking terrible. That or Justice League, I think, or Justice League Unleashed, or something like that.
Alright, the next question is, how do you get such luxurious hair?
What I do is I shampoo, I condition, and then I shampoo again.
So you actually do rinse repeat.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's dedication, if I've heard it.
What a fucking weirdo. Doing things by the book.
Gotta make sure that your body's clean.
You gotta do your cooking by the book.
It's the way
Moving
you
on.
make it.
Oh, please stop singing.
Didn't someone do like a Little Wayne crossover with that?
Yes, they did.
God,
What?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't think it was Little Jane. That was
Nigga.
Little John.
Yeah, it's Little John.
Little John and I don't know. They all look the same to me. Gold teeth.
Oh, the most...
By the way, anytime you want to commit suicide, guys, you play the Little John drinking game. Anytime he says what or yeah, you drink.
Oh.
What?
I
That
thought...
reminds me of the game we played, Priest.
You die
Oh,
inside.
God.
Anytime Trixie says her own name, you have to drink.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that
Jesus.
just destroyed... It destroyed Famous.
I'm terrible.
Right here.
I'm terrible. Sorry. I honestly thought your game was like whenever Trixie says something, you two bum each other like the pair of homos you are.
Wow. No, that was later. That was when we watched the
I
season
would
opener
definitely have
and
sex
we
with
drank when they said the
Butterfree, but
baby.
I'm not going to interrupt an episode of MP to do it.
Oh no, I wasn't saying when I was saying they all look the same. I wasn't talking about black people. I was talking about fucking rappers. They all look the same. They all.
Oh, rappers all look the same.
If there is a rapper with gold teeth and dreads, I don't know who he is.
No. Is that Little John? No, it could be Little Wayne though.
No, it's actually Usher.
No, fuck you,
Exactly.
please.
I don't know why you're all saying black. He's actually fucking Eminem, you bunch of cunts.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
Because Eminem is the only rapper that I know as soon as I see his face.
Well, yeah, because he's the only fucking.
Well,
white
you know what?
rapper
I will add. You know, Lil Wayne. I know him,
Danville.
but that's because I've seen him in so many fucking
I don't know.
pictures.
Actually, I
So-
take it back.
so
I can
next-
I can recognize DJ Khaled.
I'll be
Um,
honest, he's one of the few rappers like Lil Wayne who not Lil Wayne fucking hell like Eminem who actually like he puts a lot of thought into his raps and I quite like that.
Anyway, next question. How many times do you rewrite the same paragraph before giving up and saying good enough?
Christ, it depends. I'll be honest. I mean, there's been times I've spent half an hour trying to get a paragraph to sound right before just saying, fuck it."
Yeah, and at that point, it's not good enough. It's just fuck. I don't want to do this anymore.
Can I
Well, the thing is- yeah.
What do you think, Flame?
Once.
Once?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, high five, Flam.
I can kind of
Oh,
agree
no.
with that. Like, I don't really
Story.
deliberate that hard over it. Write it
Doesn't
once,
really
edit
hate
it,
it.
done.
3/4 of my stories, it's. Let me type this. Does this flow right? Are my tenses okay? Fuck it. Moving on to the next one.
Or then you ask.
For the Senior Palpatine fic. That's exactly how it
When Flam, I will brush up on my Fluttershy voice. We will do this.
I'm starting to actually think it's going to be earlier next week instead, like maybe Sunday, Monday, or something like that.
I'm going to have to
we'll-
make sure that I don't release anything when you do that, so I have some
wow,
mild
please,
chance.
that's lewd.
What?
Right.
Oh! That was
What?
unintentional. Release.
Well, this will be interesting. All right, so
But yeah, I've once paragraph once. It's a problem I have. It's more like instead of doing what the normal person should do and just get words on paper and then to get it done, then go back and edit later. I think no 9. I have to fucking get it done right the first time, and
Fair
then
enough.
that just causes me to write slower, and it's a problem. I need
Yes.
to get help for it.
you have a
See,
writing problem.
Yeah.
You need
Exactly.
you have the wrong writing problem.
You need rehab of booze and drugs.
Yeah,
That'll be
I'm
all
a
right.
drinker with a writing problem. What can I say?
Yeah. Very good.
Alright, so the next set of questions come from Zyks. ZYKS.
Apologize.
First question, why am I so lonely at night?
Touch yourself.
I don't know. Is it because you're alone, or is it because you're so you have such a crippling fear of commitment that it sort of it staggers you from approaching anyone. Could be a
Probably
number
true.
of things.
The next question is, what is your favorite story in general?
Not just fan fictions.
Fuck, that's a tough one. Probably one of the ones I love, and it's a terrible story, was No One Gets Left Behind, and the guy's name is No One. His last name is No One. And it's an Avatar fic. Like, this was done about 4 or 5 years ago, so I haven't read it recently, but and pretty much it's just a story how it revolves around this guy and like the goofy adventures he gets up to, and I've always thought that was kind of one of my favorites. One of the first I read, actually.
All right.
Next question.
Next question is, why does my dog keep chewing on my pillow?
Well, the thing is,
It's
you know,
crusty.
they've got to have something to keep the noise down. You know, when you two are going at it.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That was great!
Bro, fucking Vo. Good job.
Oh god! Wow.
Next
Can I have a
Oh,
story
damn,
about that?
that was good.
No.
Go nuts. Right. So, what's the next question?
Pillow spot. I'm going in dry.
Oh, I can just get a topic and hand it to me.
Oh god, a
All right,
Enigma. That's all right.
Let's go to
I'll
the
do it
next
quick.
one. Oh.
Nope. Y-
Oh, you have a
Enigma.
question, Pencil, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, Enigma.
You mean Hulk come?
The answer is actually not very good, considering Nickelodeon slime is actually edible. They made it so that it is not something that if it gets in the mouth it's toxic, so it's sugar based. So you would never want to use Nickelodeon slime as lube because that's how you get ants.
Yeah, exactly. The biggest problem with that is that
That's how you get ants.
how sad is it that Nickelodeon actually have to make it edible because kids are too fucking stupid? I mean, when I was a kid, we had slime that if you ate this shit, you'd get like the shits or you'd be fucking ill. But kids
Oh,
are so
no.
stupid now.
Well, like, you have to keep in mind, on game shows, they would throw slime in their faces and, like, blast them with slime cannons and dump slime on their heads. So if they were screaming, it was bound to get into their mouths. Which is why they had to do it that way.
It never
Let's
grew up.
be honest, it wasn't actually slime, it was just fucking semen that had been dyed.
I was going to say, it's closer to yogurt, but you know what? That's fine, too.
Well, the thing is,
Son of the mask.
well, the
That's
thing
what
is, you know, call it what you want, the purple-headed fucking yogurt slinger, the one-eyed snake, call it what you
Yeah,
will.
yep.
Yo, do you know that new game by the guys who made Banjo-Kazooie?
No.
They're making another game
Ukulele.
that's just not using the characters, but it's like the same kind of game.
Ukulele.
There's a character in it that's literally a snake with pants, and he only has one eye, so he's one-eyed trouser snake.
Fantastic.
And his name is Trouser.
That's pretty great.
All
Next question.
The next question
Sorry
is,
about
what
that.
genre of writing do you want to see on the site?
Well, I could be a right prick and say good, like good quality genre would be good.
Quality.
Being honest, I'm not fussed. I think it doesn't really go much on the genre as how someone writes it. You could write my favorite genre, but if it's shit, it's shit. I mean, genre like writing I would like to see less of is bandwagon writing, like the sort of like the displaced genres. That fucking awful one where it was like the Cards Against Humanity, but it was Card Against Equestria or something.
Yeah.
Writing where people just go, hey, this thing got a shit ton of likes, I'm just going to jump on this. That kind of annoys me, but I'll just give a similar like a genre I'd like to see more of is a like, you know, slice of life, romance, that sort of thing.
Gross.
Fair enough. Next question is, why does my neighbor watch me at night?
If your
You're
neighbor,
fucking the
Because he's
dog.
banging the dog, yeah.
I was gonna say, if he's lonely at night, why doesn't he just invite the neighbor over? It was just
Bang
watching
his
him.
dog. There you
He
go.
doesn't need the neighbor. See, why would you need the neighbor? He's got the fucking dog.
No, his
We
neighbor
just-
can bang the dog too. It'll be a great time.
We're painting a picture of this guy who's extremely lonely, but keeps his window open at night so his neighbor can watch him fuck his dog. I don't even know where to start.
What are we doing?
We're doing
This
a
is what we
podcast, I
always
guess.
do.
Moving on to the next question.
Yes, next question.
Oh, Flamin' Warfare. I just saw General. Thanks for the picture.
Has there ever
Oh,
been a fan fiction that you couldn't finish because it was too much?
No, it's more laziness, I'll be honest.
I don't know. That man's best friend kind of.
There's been ones that I couldn't finish because I realized how much of a faggot I was for writing them.
Well, nothing's changed then, eh?
Oh, got him. The next question is, do you think there might be a fan fiction you can't finish in the future?
Yeah, actually, given how much of it, given I haven't had an update in about a year, yeah, that's a good possibility.
You can always finish fan fictions you haven't updated in over a year.
Yeah, but the thing is, I haven't updated in a year, and I also still can't be asked to update. So,
What
bit
you
of a
gotta
pickle.
do if you do that is you have to start referencing shit that you said in like chapters 1 through everything else, so they have to go back and really reread everything. Just
Yeah.
That's true.
That's clever, but
All right.
All right, next question is, why did my gerbil starve itself to death when I was 5?
Because he was jealous of the dog.
Up your
let's be honest. I'll be honest. Given what you're doing to the dog, I fucking shudder to think what you did to the damn gerbil.
Jesus Christ.
No, but the thing is, gerbils, it can be affected anything from stress. It could be the wrong food type. It could be a disease. It could be anything really.
It could also be that it was the stress was likely from it watching you fuck the dog.
Yeah, probably.
Well, gerbils apparently have a scientific disposition to crawling up people's asses for some reason.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I know. Gay people, I mean, it's funny enough, it always seems to be gay people, so at least one of them enjoys it.
Yeah, seriously.
Interesting.
I mean, actually, that was one of. I mean, the thing is that was actually, you know, at the mass shooting, they actually found a gerbil up multiple asses. So whilst 50 gays may got shot, at least a handful of gerbils got saved.
Let's jump to the next question.
Next question.
Next question.
He's just a retro priest. He doesn't want to answer these questions about himself.
No.
What would you suggest for first-time fan fiction writers?
Well, that's a bit of a broad question.
Just don't fucking do it.
Simple. Don't write Mary Sue's. Don't, for the love of God, don't take someone else's work and try to like shoehorn your own characters in. Don't plagiarize. And simply put, just, you know, write something that you think can contribute something to the site. Write a story you think it might not be original, but is a new take on something.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, do not write a sequel to Past Sins, My Little Dashie, Cupcakes, or anything else like that.
Rainbow Factory.
Because everyone's gonna think you're a fucking retard.
Don't
And
start with a
rightly
Fallout
so.
Equestria story. Don't start with a
Oh
Fallout
yeah,
Equestria
no,
story.
that.
Yes.
Don't start with Conversion Burrito either.
Conversion. No.
Or what was that one with the caribou?
No,
Don't love
no.
Equestria.
Don't start with a collab.
Yeah, don't start with a collab. It's
See,
really bad.
the thing is, I actually created that with my alt account, so
And also, I would say this is like, it's not really a general rule, but I'd say it's probably a good idea to just try and start by writing some slice of life, kind of simpler stuff. You shouldn't, if it's your first fan fiction, it's going to be a lot harder for you to stay committed. So you shouldn't start off by trying to write some huge adventure where, you know, it'll last 100 chapters and they'll go around Equestria and do everything.
Though
Start by writing kids' facts.
saying that, my first story was one of those, and I actually managed to complete it.
Yeah, you can. That's why I say it's not a general rule. It depends on if you think you have the time to do it.
All right, what we got next?
So I'm gonna lump a whole bunch of stuff together. 3 questions actually. Comments from Mike, and as well as the final 2 questions from Zixus. There was a video that was made about one of our first few podcasts, a week that I actually wasn't here, talking with, I'll say, Get Me Out of Here. I think Pencil was in the cast. Flam was in the cast.
I'm well featured in that video, actually.
I was in there later on, like I was an hour later, so.
It was highlighting a bunch of our jokes and just kind of general shenanigans. They wanted to know what we thought about that video. Do we think he'll do more? Do we hope they'll do more? Do we know who did it?
We don't.
I thought the video was amazing. We don't know who did it. By all means, if they're watching right now, please go, by all means, make more stuff of us.
I'll send you more rhinos.
Feed our egos.
That rhino, man. God damn.
We have gone 1 cast so far without a rhino. We can survive another one.
I wasn't here for the last 2.
That's probably why we didn't have
That's
anything.
probably why. Plus, I'm playing Overwatch now, so I'm not going to do it.
All right, we got 3 shit questions from Mike. Coke, Pepsi, or other distorted?
Coke, Pepsi, or other. I'd have to go Iron Brew, actually.
Of course.
All right.
Yeah.
Next question is, why is Priest wrong about best princess being Cadence?
Well,
Because
it
you
depends
are?
on it, probably because in his in his own personal opinion, he thinks you are wrong. I mean, we're all entitled to our opinions.
I get why he put this question in the shit category. It's because his opinion about Best Princess is shit and yours isn't, Priest.
Yes! Vote Cadence 2016!
He's probably one of those fags that's just like, the night is better than the day. Luna!
Yeah, he is.
Well, I like Luna. I'll be honest more. I don't think she's better. I enjoy her more.
Honestly, my favorite is
my
Celestia.
nigga.
And I don't know why. I've just read a lot of Celestia stories I enjoy. So.
Dude, I've written more Celestia stories than I can. Actually, I write more Celestia stories than I do Luna, and yet Luna's a favorite.
My nigga.
Alright, so, the next question is, when will anyone realize that we are a shitty group and get Nighty to ban us?
I don't know, probably when Nighty actually fucking appears on this site. I mean, I think he's been off doing other shit for the last few
I'm
months.
online earlier, but he was
Don't
probably
worry.
doing nothing.
If you worry, the thing is, he only comes on very briefly just to do quick updates and that, and then I think he fucks off. I mean, I think he wants to be as far away from this website as possible. To be honest, I don't really blame him to an extent. I mean, there's a lot of autism. I hate to use that word, but there's a lot of autistic people on this site.
I love to use that
I think
word.
everyone's a little autistic.
Everyone's
you
a
have-
little bit autistic. It's true.
Look, you.
Autismo moments.
Alright,
I'd probably say
go ahead.
no, it's fine, man. No, it's more just like a wee thought to myself, but it's fine.
Serious questions. Do you go anywhere that isn't home to write your stories?
Well, potentially. I mean, when I'm out, I'm usually because I'm exercising or I'm going to get groceries. I don't really go to nightclubs. I'm not much of a traveler, if you would. But when I am, when I'm on a plane, going for a meeting, or when I'm doing other things, yeah, I will write. I will write.
Just go to Starbucks, man. Write on your laptop so everyone can see you.
I'm not a pretentious cunt.
Actually, that's what I do. But it's to get away from my roommates, to be fair.
Why not just go to the library?
Because the library that's by my house is shit. And I can get
Everything
coffee.
by your house is shit. It's Nebraska.
That is slightly true.
Welcome back, Pencil!
I think Shockward had a question.
Yes, Chuck Ward does have a question. Do you think geometric unity theory is a breakthrough or a foolish dream of moron?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It depends. I mean, I think the theory's interesting enough. I mean, he proposes that a 14-dimensional. I think it's observed, so which pretty much means that that there are dimensions next to each other. I could be embedding that wrong, and it sort of describes how these dimensions are sort of interact with each other. How two people would. So in a sense, it's if two people are talking, the two dimensions maybe don't. They don't contact, but they communicate. Which that could very well that could be a sound theory. I could be reading it wrong, but that's what I seem to take. It honestly depends. I don't know enough about the subject to give a proper opinion, but to my knowledge, I mean, I don't think any theory should ever be outright rejected unless it's something like vaccines cause autism or something ridiculous. Even then, I think even if they are ridiculous in theory, I think they should be discussed, and then people should come to a conclusion if it's a fallacy or if it's true.
Riveting.
So guys,
Zenyatta.
Yes.
are you aware that Invisible Man is in our chat and talking?
Who's Invisible Man?
He's the one who did the video. He says he's going to do more.
Okay.
Oh,
Do you
awesome!
need more rhinos?
That's
Yeah,
great!
do you want more rhinos, buddy?
I got the one that Andrew made.
We have a drawn rhino. We did a version of just the rhino
Yeah,
with
it's
no
like
pussies.
the safer work version of the rhino.
Yeah, why don't you
I
post the
heard
safer
my
work
name,
version?
and I was confused. For a
Sure,
second.
yeah. If someone has the Safe for Work Rhino, by all means
Feel free
post
to
it in the
post that,
stream chat
yeah.
and I'll throw it up.
I thought throwing up was my thing.
Oh, yeah. I never got your whole obsession with the throwing up chrysalis.
Do you want to explain
It's a running gag.
PukeCon?
No, I really don't want it.
There you
I
go.
don't want to explain it to me.
No, there was no actual puke involved. It was I drew Fluttershy vomiting at BronyCon at the table because it was like, draw a picture of Fluttershy, and so I just drew this.
2015 by any chance?
Yes.
Yes.
How did
I
you
actually-
know?
Because I took that picture home with me.
Oh, you did. I thought it was thrown away. I'm
No,
so glad somebody got it.
I don't know what it is. I'd have to
But the
look
thing
it
is,
out. But
there was more than one because I left and I came back and people had added to it, and there were just like pictures and pictures of vomiting Fluttershy everywhere. So
yeah,
many pictures.
it amused the shit out of me. But you know what? Fuck it, I quite like this. Someone's taken an interesting take on it. So I thought, fuck it, I'll take it home and have a wee nosy.
Oh, I'm so glad. If you took home mine particularly, I mean, you'll tell it's mine. I think I put a little.
You did.
heart
You put a
over
little something like that.
Yeah, well,
I'll be honest.
that's really cool. I'm glad you took that home. That makes me feel nice.
Yeah, I don't know if we met or not at BronyCon. I could have sworn I remember. I think I saw you doodling or something.
I do
at the
know-
time.
If you saw a girl dressed in a blue dress with a blue wig and blue pony ears, that was me.
Yeah, that was actually. Yeah, that was you then.
Yep, that's me.
Oh wow, then we
You
did
see
meet
me.
then, Flair.
Yeah, we did. Just
We were just
I
not
think I-
important enough to remember each other.
no. I mean, I'm a much larger writer than other than maybe Flutter Priest.
What?
Yeah,
I'm the most famous person you've never heard of.
we've all heard of you.
No.
It's okay.
All right. The next serious question is, who is your senpai?
I'll be honest. I don't really have that sort of shit.
That
I
was
mean,
the
I've
least
never.
serious part of the question.
Hmm.
Like, do you
No, I'll
have
be honest,
somebody you look up to as
I
well?
do not. I do not.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Do you listen to music as you write?
I do. Well, actually, it's a bit dickish, but I like to listen to like Rain when I'm writing. I find it's soothing, it's relaxing.
Dude, rain is soothing. That doesn't make you dickish. That makes you a cool person. Rain is relaxing as hell.
Thunderstorm, like the gentle thunderstorm in the background is quite nice as well.
Yeah, I live in Florida, so I don't even have to listen to rain like through the computer. I just do.
All right. The next
We got a
question.
bunch of hipsters.
The next question is there any story of yours you'd ever want to rewrite?
Well, I am currently rewriting The Lust of Mayors. If I could, I would go back and I would maybe rewrite, some of the stories like The Queen's Heart or maybe Twilight Secret, because I think the first few chapters fall a little flat, but not so much because of my writing, because I didn't write the first few, but I'd like to go back and maybe give them a few, like tweaks there, here and there. All really got on it.
All right. The next set of questions come from Charlie Horse. Question number 1. Can Drop Bear write a story that does not include a changeling? Changelings are popular characters in many fanfics. Why do writers have such a love for them? I guess I'll just open that up to the floor.
I'll be honest, I don't know. Sorry, man. I'm sorry to interrupt
No,
you.
it's fine. You can go.
To my knowledge, the reason changelings are so loved is because there's so little known about them. I mean, if a lot of people don't consider comics to be the canon, and I'll be honest, I thought the Chrysalis' story on the comics was like weak as all hell. So the reason I think people like writing about them is because you have a creature that is shape shifting. It feeds on love, and yet is the bad guy because it tried to capture people for love. And the thing is, I think people like to sort of there's the potential for a character who the only way they can survive is by feeding on love, which affects ponies. So we've got a situation where are they the bad guys because they're evil monsters, or are they the bad guys because what they do to survive, ponies don't like? And it leads a lot of people thinking, well, what if there's a side to them like where Chrysalis is just trying to feed a starving nation, or if she's got like a civil war going on, or there's a multitude of things they can take. But I also think it's because changelings and Chrysalis as a whole, there's not a lot of character development to them, so they're easier to write. She's not going to be out of character if she turns out she actually has a nice side to her, or if she's a complete bitch.
Yeah, she's mostly a blank slate. And I was gonna say the reason changelings are so popular in stories, like that I've seen at least, is a lot of times they're used exactly like that. They're used as original characters because changelings are a completely blank slate. And it's easier to make a good changeling OC than it is to make a good pony OC, at least from what I've seen, because it's harder to judge them because they all look exactly the same. They pretty much, I'm sure they would all act the same if they have that whole hive mind thing going on, and that's the fanon theory that a lot of people have. So
I would also add that for Chrissy, it's so easy to change even knowing what she is and what she did and what we've seen of her, it's so easy to take that scene and show it from a different light. Her perspective is completely different than any of the other ponies. So, using her perspective is really refreshing to a lot of writers, me included.
Mm-hmm. No, not only that, but I find that with the changelings, it's easier, I think, to give them characteristics. People aren't going to call them out. Like, it's not like, if a pony suddenly goes ape shit and starts betraying ponies left, right, and center, people are going to go, well, that's a bit out of character. They're mostly a peace-loving species. But, for example, changelings, we just don't know enough about them. I mean, it could very well be that they don't hold as much loyalty to the queen as ponies do seem to Celestia. And if they are individuals, which it does seem to be, because if you take Cranky's wedding into account, where there's a changeling in the back that attends, it does imply that changelings do have a personality of their own.
I have to admit,
I'm so glad somebody finally mentioned that.
I mean, the biggest thing I think is that what gives them personality is, for example, when the changelings first fight the main six, Pinkie Pie shouts, "Do me," which I instantly had to giggle at. And the changeling changes to her and then does like a sarcastic "ta-da," which that has to show that these changelings have some personality. They're not just blank slates. Otherwise, it would have just killed them. It wouldn't have even fought. It wouldn't.
Yeah, it had a sense of humor to it.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it changed into her, and then Pinkie Pie's "I've seen better," then knocks the shit out of him. So, the thing is, the way they fight, they're not 100% organized. They don't move as like one machine. Like each one of them had like a different fighting style. Like the sort of like it was just more of like a brawl than anything. Like just all of them just tried to beat the shit out of them.
The only time they ever actually seemed like a hive mind, because I don't actually think that's a thing either.
Yeah.
I think they all have their own personality. The only time in the entire episode that it was ever even implied that they might was when they were all just smacking into the barrier at the same time. That's it.
But that was more that. But
And even then, they had to. Like, it's not even a hive mind thing. They had to break it.
Otherwise, they wouldn't get in the fucking thing.
Yeah,
down.
exactly.
All right.
But the thing is, surely if Chrysalis had just drained him and then slit his throat, there you go, problem solved.
There's a lot of things Chrissy could have done differently that she didn't because this is a kids' show. But yeah,
she could have just killed Cadence. Like, that's what they would have done if she
she
was a
could have
real
also
villain.
just killed Shining Armor too. Like,
Yeah.
Could have just
Anyway.
she could have just killed like anybody,
Yes,
but
Any-
sorry,
She killed
any
Celestia,
pony.
but she tried to, I guess, convert her. I don't know what that point of putting her in the chrysalis was, but
I think it was a storage device, where like it's sort of like it paralyzes them. Maybe like like in a Matrix, there's that sort of thing where they're put into like a dream state. It could have very well been that it was like a reference to that, where the ponies are put in like an animation, and then the changelings can just feed off of them. So if like Celestia's asleep and she dreams that she's with her sister, she's gonna give off love.
God.
She's gonna be happy, and the changelings can continue to feed off of that. So it's almost like keep the ponies in like a dream sort of state where they're happy and loving, and you can feed off them almost indifferently.
Dude, you just sparked the Matrix crossover.
oh
God, it's time to stop. It's time to stop.
Next question.
No, next question.
Fucking
Next
right
question.
now.
The next question's a bit jumbled. I'll summarize it. Charlie Horse is tired of Discord being the big bad guy in Friendship is Magic. Do we need new enemies in the show for us to write fan fiction about?
I'll be
No.
honest, yes. I think we do need new villains. The thing is, I think Tyrek was a great step, because Tyrek was a darker character. He was a character who wouldn't have thought twice about killing Twilight's friends. I mean, in the original show, he actually threatened to kill Spike.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
He actually threatened to kill Spike if I don't know if you guys know this, but in the new series, his brother is obviously he's his brother, but in the original series, I can't remember his name. Scorpio was actually a human prince turned into a monster by Tyrek as a slave. So technically, if they'd gone with that, it would actually be canon for humans being in Equestria.
Well,
I'm actually going to say
Scorp is also really
And
bizarre.
being honest,
I'd love to see Scorp.
See, I have a bit of a theory. I know this is ridiculous, but when Celestia and Luna banished Tyrek 1,000 years ago, could that very well have been that was what when Generation 1 was set? The humans,
Sure, why not?
Because there was the portal. Because the thing is, humans can transfer. Because ponies can go to Equestria, but humans obviously can come to Equestria as well because it's a two-way system.
But they have
It
to be
has to
flown
be.
there.
Exactly. It would
Yeah.
depend, honestly.
What didn't his brother betray him though? Because I don't remember that from the.
His brother
bro-
did betray him, and in Generation 1, Scorpio wasn't his brother. Like, he had no
No.
love for Tyrek. And in the end, he and Spike actually betray Tyrek, and Tyrek threatens to kill Spike if Scorpio doesn't continue to serve him.
I will say, because of the way the question is worded, I'm going to say no. Because the way he's wording it seems to be, do we need more big villains in the show to write about? I don't think we do. I think there's enough villains to write about. I just think that too many people are reliant on Discord because they're like, well, he can do anything. I'm just going to make him the villain. But,
That's fair.
like, if you have a huge issue with there not being enough villains, just try and come up with your own. You're writing for a reason. You're trying to be creative.
The thing is, you don't even have to be creative. Look at Generation 1 and 2. You had the Smooze. Like, the thing is, yeah, the Smooze was a big fucking laughing stock in the new series, but the original Smooze was terrifying. It was a
it really was. Like, the original Smooze was actually...
It was like the fucking Blob movie. It just kept
They've
growing.
heard my rant. They've heard my rant about how I was actually terrified of the Smooze as a child and could not sleep and had nightmares, and I blocked out my memory.
I actually
And
went...
suddenly I remembered it.
At one point, like, Pencil's rant made me go and actually, like, see the movie, and being forced to watch it was totally not a factor at all. And the Smooze is actually the Smooze is actually, like, kind of terrifying. It's really rough.
It's like a the thing is, it was like a sped up blob. It was like, this thing could, like, clear a castle in a forest in seconds, and
nothing can stop it. Nothing can stop the Smooze.
But it wasn't just that. It was that. Imagine being caught with that. You would drown. And like, the thing is, there's actually a picture someone drew where it shows a pony that was caught by the Smooze. It's just this husk covered in, like, goop, and it's just like, that's what they do. But you would drown in something like it'd be like being smothered to death. It'd be awful. And there's this thing. You think about it, in the original series, you see them, like, pick up all the small animal friends, and the ponies escape, but there was an entire forest there. How many animals do you think suffocated and were killed by the Smooze?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Smooze is basically like when a volcano erupts, and it's
And also, if the
just...
Smooze touched you, even if you survived, if it touched you, it made you depressed and horrible and pessimistic. It took away all of your hope. And the only way to fucking kill it was even Rainbow couldn't kill it. Sorry, I was a big fan of the original series. So.
Oh no, the original series was great.
Oh,
never forget.
My favorite character has to be Groger. I mean, the Necromancer Ram. I would love to see him do something. Now, obviously, he couldn't bring back half decaying ponies. That would be too vile. But even if he had his original forces, which was like skeletons and goblins, that would be great. I'd love to see.
But the thing is, there's no humans in the modern one, and there's so many human villains in My Little Pony.
That's the.
I mean, there was Lavin. I mean, there were three enemies that stood out for me was Lavin. He was like a lava god who like caused volcanoes to erupt. So obviously the damage he could do. There was the one that they actually based a bit of Tyrek on. He's like a ghost. In a sense, he's like a genie in a lamp. And what he does is he absorbs Pony's magic, which is what we saw with Tyrek. So obviously they've combined the two. And he was quite daunting. And there was also the most racist, like, stereotype of a zebra. You have like a black guy, a zebra. He had a gold tooth. He had a fucking leather jacket, and he stood on two hooves.
Let me get this shit. Continue. I need this.
I'm still hung up on the idea that there's a necromancer bad guy, and that's totally going to come to G4, and that's how we're going to have the Applejack's parents episode.
What was his name? Shit, I will find out. Continue.
Just look up stereotype zebra Gen 1 My Little Pony, and you'll probably get it. Or it might be Gen 2. I'm not sure.
Zeb. His name was Zeb, and he had a mohawk.
Zeb. And so of what he did, and he also wore sunglasses.
So are you racist against Mohawks?
I've got this.
Hold on. Are you prejudiced against Mohawks because Zecora has a mohawk?
No, trust me, it's not the kind of mohawk you want. I will post it in the chat.
But the thing is, Groger was a necromancer ram, so he was quite daunting and quite large, and I think it would be great to see him in future episodes.
Oh, also Anthro, by the way. He was also Anthro.
Yeah, he was. Zeb was Anthro.
He looks like he's stolen from a McDonald's commercial or something.
My personal favorite, I know it's ridiculous, but there was actually a pig queen and like a penguin king who were both villains, so I would love to write a story about where, the pig queen, because she was a tyrant, she actually had an army of pigs. And I would love to have an idea where, like, Celestia and Luna, combat this, and as a punishment, pigs are de-evolved to an extent, which would be quite interesting. Because obviously we saw them in the new series where Applejack's feeding them, they're eating out of a trough.
I'll quickly answer this, and then we'll go to the next question.
Oh, yeah, I was typing the same thing.
Invisible Man wanted to know where the videos are. Just
Question.
quick shilling. We have all these where you've started recording these, and they are on YouTube now.
Go
So
watch them. Remember the moments.
you can go and watch things like Bolding tell the 3-point stance story again, or you can listen to
Spaghetti.
you can
Hey,
listen
Priest,
to
you said these questions are open floor, right? Like from this guy.
yeah, for the most.
I'm ready for the next one though.
Okay, yeah, I really want.
I
I really have a good answer for this one.
Okay. Go ahead. Ask the next question.
All right, the next question is: Twilight has sort of been a jerk in the show recently because of the way she treats Trixie. If this caused her to lose her wings, would you be okay with that?
Not
Okay.
really, no.
No. Okay, so Priest,
Rude.
Priest, who's my favorite side character in the show? I'm sure you know.
Trixie.
There you go. Now, what I'm not going to do is turn this last episode into a Trixie apologist episode. She was just as much of a bitch as Twilight was, but Twilight wasn't a bitch to her. Twilight was being a bad friend to Starlight by not trusting her to make her own friends. She didn't just... The whole thing, she wasn't being mean to Trixie. She was being mean to Starlight because... I don't think it wasn't that she didn't trust Trixie.
There's a
She
difference.
just didn't want Starlight's first friend to be another former villain. Which
I think
I'm
there
using
was
feels
a lot of-
very,
How
very
was it?
fucking loosely.
How was Trixie a villain exactly?
Yeah, I'm
Trixie
using that very
got-
loosely. She was heckled,
Here's an
and she
antagonist.
fought back. That's what she's
The thing
supposed to do. And then
Well,
the second
but
time
no.
wasn't even her mind. That was the alicorn amulet, like
And
messing
the
with
Well,
thing
her.
she did go buy the amulet in the fucking first place. Or
She
did
did,
steal it?
but she probably didn't know it would do that.
Well,
I'm sure
let me
she
give you an
just wanted
example.
to-
Let me give you an example though. Trixie gets onto the stage and she does a show. When you're doing a show or stand up or when you're doing that, people have paid or people have gone to attend. There are some rules. You shut the fuck up and only interact if the performer asks you to interact. They were not only were they rude, but they were jackasses. And when Trixie rightfully handed them their asses by going, "Well, you guys were jackasses, so now I'm going to humiliate her," they made her out to be the asshole. And yet, if we watch a comedy where like some guy's going, "You're a fucking dick," and the guy turns it around and humiliates him because he's a comedian, people think, well, he's fucking funny. But because she did it to, oh, but everyone has to have their opinion. Like pretty much social justice warriors is what they were being that episode, where they're sort of like they're not seeing the hypocrisy that they were, spreading on Trixie, but they had a big piss fit when Trixie pretty much handed them their asses.
That's
So-
the big problem I've had with a lot of early MLP episodes is they did a terrible job of conveying friendship lessons. Like the whole lesson in that episode was don't boast, but she
You're
never
mad.
really boasted. Like she was just putting on a show. Like that's her
Right.
job. She's supposed
I mean, the
to.
thing is, how fun is it? Oh yeah, I can make rope lasso people. That's not good. I took on an Ursa Minor once, or like an Ursa Major. Like it's bullshit. But the thing is, the fact that ponies were stupid enough to believe her should sort of like go, well, it's a fucking show. She's trying to wow the kids, you retards.
Yeah,
And
they
how's
were just
that her
taking
fault?
it too fucking personally. That's what my
Yeah, it's
problem with it
oh
was.
my
They
God,
took
she's
it
a-
way
I mean-
too personally.
The biggest problem is they had is that, oh, she's made us all look like asses because we were being assholes, so we're going to be really literal towards her and like just fucking go out our way to try and make her look like an asshole. It's like she's not lying; she's fucking embellishing stories. That's fun. That's what they do.
It's
It's like
showmanship.
Not to mention,
Exactly.
like, they want to talk about boasting, and then you have an episode where, the one where Apple Bloom cheated to get her cutie marks, and as soon as she get ones, Applejack is just, like, showing her off to the entire fucking town, like, hey, look at my sister, she's the coolest pony ever.
not only that. No, can I just say, Twilight fucking enslaved people by using the fucking want it, need it spell, and all she gets is a slight fucking lecture about, well, you don't need to give us, and then she's like, oh, you don't need to give me a report every week, and her friends go, it's not her fault, we didn't listen, and then she's off the hook.
And,
It's totally
and
her
Rainbow
fault.
Dash is the biggest bitch to me in the episode because she wants to talk about boasting, and then the fucking Mare-do-Well episode happens. That's all she did the entire episode was brag
fucking
about how
boast.
she was a hero.
But do you know what's worse about that is that Trixie didn't even bring the fucking bear. It was the two retards. When
Yeah,
Trixie
I
said,
hate
"Look,
those
guys."
guys so
Oh,
much.
this
The
bullshit.
thing is,
I hate
she
them.
turned around and said, "Look, guys, I was lying. It was, showmanship." They go, "Well, no, this is your fault." And yet, when Twilight nearly destroys the town, it's like, "Oh, Twilight, you didn't know any better." Like Trixie caused less damage, and yet she's the fucking asshole.
Trixie didn't cause any. Trixie didn't cause any damage at all.
No, she didn't, and yet she's somehow the fucking asshole. And yet Twilight can fucking, she could fucking nuke half the time. She'd get maybe a slap on the hoof, and that would be it.
We're getting so worked up, and like no one is mad at Trixie.
I know, you guys are just
absolutely no one is mad about Trixie, and just Distorted and Seventh are just like
they reformed Discord faster than they reformed Trixie. There is something wrong with that to me.
Can I just see the finish? Can I just see the finish off? What a bunch of cunts! It's like a case of Twilight's an asshole and has no right fucking ruling. But Twilight, you're good at making friends. You can run a country now. What about the politicians who actually know how to run a country? Well, that's not how friendship works. That's not how politics works. Miss Twilight, how are we going to afford, this month's, like fucking annual ball? We're behind. Are we going to have to raise taxes? Friends. Well, thank you, but that's not what I fucking asked, you useless cow.
All right.
Next question.
Let's go.
Hold on. I have. No, it's more for Distorted.
Oh.
Have you read the stories? How many friends have you made today?
I have not.
You need to go read that story. I think you would really like it. The author took all of the 6 ponies and did exactly what you described them as, turned them into the assholes that they are, and showed it in the way that it's supposed to be, or the way that it would have been.
Chalkboard for fuck's sake.
I will send you the link for those stories.
We had him on here, right? Sarcastic.
Next.
Let's take Distorted. Do you want to answer Chuck Ward's question from the cast?
You know what?
Chat?
Fuck it, I might as well.
Would you have sex with your father to cure his AIDS?
I would not.
There we go. Next question. How is Blue Bud related to Celestia? Is it possible male
I actually found an actual answer from Lauren Faust.
By the way, I have no patience for someone who says, "Is it possible male alicorns don't have wings?" You know what the definition of an alicorn is?
It has wings and a horn.
If they don't have wings, then they're just a fucking unicorn. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so according to Lauren Faust, her nephew, he is the nephew on Celestia and Luna's mother's side, about 52 times removed.
What the
Interesting.
balls?
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I always thought like he was a nephew. I knew he was a nephew, but I always thought like he was like adopted or something. But there we go. We can move on now.
All right.
Well, the thing is,
oh my god.
When he says alicorn, alicorn is like the material in like a unicorn's horn. I think that's where what the word means. It's the material. The alicorn is like the material that's in a unicorn's horn. I think. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. That's what I know. I think.
No, that's not correct.
Yeah, a unicorn horn is also known as an alicorn. Like,
thank you. That's what I meant.
Before the show aired.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
No. Before the show, it would be. It was the word for the medical use of it, I believe.
Yeah, medical use for it. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. And I didn't mind you medical use for unicorn's horn. Just saying, yeah.
All right.
By the way, I hear a lot of.
That's Rav.
Sorry, it's hot and I can't turn my fan off.
Well,
you got.
Okay.
Okay. Are you back on push to talk?
Next.
All right. We've got 8 questions left. We can get there, guys. We're almost at 2 hours, but we can kill this. All right.
We can do this.
All right. What Friendship is Magic memes have come and gone that you wish were back in style? Distorted.
Office Love Win.
Stop. That is.
Office Love.
I'll tell you what I wish would die forever, and that's 20% cooler. That needs to just fuck off forever. Whenever someone says that, I just get a little angry.
Oh.
I thought this question was for me.
Go for it. Go, Flair.
But seriously though, I'll be honest, none of them, I'll be honest. I mean, I like that they're constantly changing and that, and being honest, memes, they're funny occasionally, like if someone does that, oh haha, I mean, but when they're used to such the extent they are now, they're just fucking wearing. It's like, oh, this is a really funny meme, and then for like the next month, that's all you fucking see. You're like, well, thank you, you've managed to kill yet another funny thing for me.
Like the Twilight Cane or whatever, when that happened.
Christ, that couldn't have fucked off quick enough if it tried.
I didn't even care for that to begin with, and then there's like everyone talked about it.
Oh, the
it got its own like specific close up on the fucking Slice of Life episode. I was just so mad. I'm like the only person I know that didn't like the Slice of Life episode.
I wasn't a fan of it either, and I just don't like pandering. That's why.
Yeah, that is true.
It's so silly to me that the writers make a big deal of, oh, we're not allowed to read fan fiction, but then they make a whole episode based on fucking fan theories.
The writers definitely have read fan fiction.
Yeah, I know they
before.
have. I know they have. Hasbro doesn't want them to.
I definitely heard specifically one tell me very drunkenly at BabsCon that they read fan fiction. So
Yeah, they're not supposed to, but they do.
yeah, Haber ushered her away from me quickly.
And it's just so dumb to me that Hasbro makes a big deal out of that, though, and then they allow that episode. Like,
Hasbro don't fucking.
I mean, it was a funny episode. I thought it was funny. I just didn't think it should have been like in the middle of a season. They could have saved it for like a last episode or something.
All right, we've got 7 questions left. We're gonna knock through them.
And they are dumb. Let's do this.
All of these questions are just out to the entire group because all of these are dumb. But they're from Toaster, so we're gonna make it happen.
All right.
Number 1, why is Caden's worst pony?
She's not. Next.
Because Priest likes
Because
her. That's why.
it clearly must be opposite day if all these people are thinking she's the worst.
No, she's the worst. She's terrible.
I quite like Cadence. I mean, the thing is, I think she's not. I mean, the thing is, if you read the comics, once again, she gets a lot more fleshed out, and she is a lot funnier in the comics. I mean,
and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this the other day, but I knew someone who like bitched about the fact that she was just shoehorned into the show, even though his favorite character was Shining Armor.
Yeah. In short, because next,
what makes Ember sexy?
Literally nothing.
The fact that she's female.
Exactly.
She's a female that stands on 2 legs.
Probably because a lot of people grew up with like the series of like Crash Bandicoot. They grew up with Spyro. Where a lot of the anthropomorphic characters looked similar to Ember, and I think that was. I don't think it was intentional, but I think a lot of people find her attractive is because, well, one, I think she sort of reminds me of Cinder, as I said earlier from Spyro, but because she's modeled after a lot of a lot of the 1990, the really early furries and all that shit, or people who just quite like that shit. She's just similar and tight to that sort of thing. Like what's his name? That Fox arsehole, who's what the fuck? Nintendo, Space Fox or something.
Star Fox.
Star Fox. Thank you. I've never played the game.
Space Fox. Great Fox.
I've let down my whole generation, but seriously,
you really have, sweetheart.
I mean, look at the chick. Look at the blue foxes in that. I can't remember her name either. I don't really fucking care.
Try to remember her name. I'm excited.
I know it.
Please,
I know it. I think I know it.
But no, I want to hear what his name is, because if it's anything like Space Fox, I'm excited.
I have absolutely no fucking idea. I mean,
try.
Crystal, isn't it? It's not Crystal.
It is Crystal.
Yes, it is Crystal.
We have a winner.
And of course, it's like the special spelling too.
All right.
The thing is, like, you look at Crystal, I mean, obviously she's got a rack on her, but like, there's a similar design with that, and Ember. I think that's where a lot of the attraction comes from.
Yeah.
Is that she looks similar to what we grew up on.
That dragon's got no ass on her, though.
And then a lot of people think she's sexy because we have degenerates like Enigmatic Otaku.
I don't think
just
dragons really can
lizard boob stories.
Well, yeah, Enigma is shit. His shit existence that needs to stop anyway.
So, let's really destroy
to the Pandermobile.
The next question from Toaster is, what do I exist for?
Oh no. To be a massive faggot.
Yeah.
I would say shit toasting.
Oh.
Shit toasting, yes.
Oh, fucking asshole! I love it. Can't let you do that, Space Fox. That's not going away anytime soon.
No, we all have ones like that. Don't worry.
Let's see. Next question. Why is Carrier Heartbreak so handsome?
Again?
Yeah, because he's a
fag. Asked already. You can't ask this twice.
The next question is, why is Carrier of Heartbreak so ugly?
Because he was born.
He probably cuts himself all the time with his knives.
In his face. Like he's just cutting his cheek going,
Chuckboard, give it a fucking rest, man.
The next question is, why is Carrier of Heartbreak so sexy?
Because of the same thing.
Because you're toast.
He probably gave himself one of those sexy smoldering scars on his face like the movie stars always have.
The final question
the
of
smolder. I love that movie so much. Thank you.
fucking smolder.
Oh my god.
Come on, Zoolander, Blue Magnum.
So
Has to
much.
be. Guys,
Blue
come on, it has to be-
Magnum?
Blue Magnum from Zoolander.
Blue Magnum. Yes.
I'm gonna team up all freaking bride hearts, and we're just knocking everyone all over the
Blue
place.
Magnum.
All right. The final question of the cast is: why is Carrier of Heartbreak?
I could not tell you. It defies logic and nature.
Carrier, are you a heartbreaker?
Why is he so obsessed with me?
Why are you obsessed with you? Jesus, you're shit.
You know what? You know what, Carrier? I think you should go up in that chat and just like say hello to him. I think he really wants to talk to you.
Yeah, you should.
You should just go say hi and then come back to us.
Yeah, and just tell him.
I'm busy.
Not do it. Go and tell him.
Too busy
you
for
think
the
he's
person
sexy
who's
too.
obsessed with you?
Yeah, go tell him you think he's
especially
sexy
too
too.
busy for the person who's obsessed with me.
Hey, it's
What a pussy.
probably Space Fox.
All right. Well, that's there's one last question in the chat.
No, I'm not answering.
We'll give it to Distorted because it's his friends. Would you say you are more of a Cucky McFucky or a Cuckmaster Deluxe?
Neither, unfortunately.
Nailed it.
Excellent.
All
Good
right.
job.
We're out of questions, so that concludes this week's podcast. We are putting our Rhino-less podcasts back down to 0.
Yeah, we had the rhino again.
It was this. It wasn't the real one.
And I gotta say, this podcast talked more about actual writing. It made less sex jokes than I've ever heard. We didn't yell at each other for most of the time, and honestly, this was just really good advice. So if you want to hear us be not horrible, this is the podcast for it. Thank you, Distorted Flare.
Yeah.
So
So
was
thank you,
because
man.
I was distracted the whole time.
It was fun yelling with you about about Trixie.
Yeah, listening to two go back and forth was kind of hilarious, considering you're both arguing, but there was no one to argue with. They were just arguing past each other.
you
We
two
were
are-
arguing
you-
against the entire website, man.
You guys are just
hell is
perpetually feeding yourself with your own anger.
Personally,
Anger.
I'll be honest. Personally, I was shouting at a wall, so fuck it.
That's fair. That's also very fair. Did you have anything you wanted to say, Distorted Flare?
Well, thanks for having me on. It was absolutely, it was an absolute ball, and I hope I can do this in the future with yourselves.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's possible because every other
Yeah.
week, including next week, we are going to have a shitposting cast, which means that
Why? Why are we doing that? I can get you somebody.
No, you can't.
Yes, I
I
can.
can get somebody.
No,
well,
you
we
can't.
do have guests. Every other week we do guest cast. This week, of course, was Distorted Flare, and 2 weeks from
Obviously.
now we have got Majin Skio, who will be joining us for
Seiko.
Ikyo.
Seiko.
Pico.
Ezekiel?
Ezekiel. Majin Ezekiel.
Psycho. No, serious. No, that the thing is, I've spoken to him a couple of days. Says that a lot of people just pronounce it psycho, so he just says.
Yeah, he
"Fuck
based it on the
fuck
word
that."
psycho. I'm pretty sure.
Majin
but-
Psychosocial.
Like,
Just call him Majin
Yeah.
Psycho.
Sasha!
Or call him a
Exactly.
faggot, because personally, the thing is, that's the thing. Like, if you guys are wanting, I mean, I can probably invite you guys to a Skype group where we have just about every large writer on film fiction in it.
That's
That's-
kind of where I'm pulling people from.
Yeah, so I'm not that worried. But I can also get... Sorry.
No. Please go ahead.
I was going to say, we could get Wooten if we wanted to. We could snap our fingers and have him on here in a heartbeat, and you know it, Priest.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that all we need to do is basically reach out, and Wooten's definitely on my list.
Good, because, I mean, we don't need to be doing a ship cast,
Well-
more than once a month.
I'll be honest, shitcast,
Yeah.
like, from what I've seen so far, it's actually, you guys have been quite civil about it, and I've watched a couple of your other ones, and yeah, it gets a bit
Aw.
crazy at times, but you've been civilized. I mean, Christ, it's worse than when me, Rob, and a couple other guys did a My Little Dashy drinking game.
Oh my god.
Rob is just insane in general, though.
We
Oh,
had
yes.
we had buzzwords wherever we'd take a shot of whiskey every time he fucking said something, or whenever we changed the page, and Rob got absolutely shit-faced within the first 30 minutes.
As he does.
Then he passed out about the 45-minute mark, and then we just spent the next 5 hours insulting each other.
That sounds about
What
accurate.
happened again on the fucking? You said something happened on the podcast Rob was on for. Like he
He-
got up
oh.
from his chair. Or
Yeah, no, we're like, because we were talking, we asked a question, there was silence, and one of us went, Rob? And he just goes, oh, hold on a second, and we hear in the background, as he stands up, the sound of just hundreds of empty beer cans falling over.
Oh God! Yes, it's just
You're
like
the
so
sound
many
and
beer
crushing.
cans.
He was swimming in the beer cans.
Well, he's a flat out alcoholic, so I don't blame him.
Yeah, no, I understand.
No, the thing is, at the end of the day, fuck it. If he enjoys drinking, let him drink.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't drink when he's on the job or anything.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
He
Exactly.
only drinks when he's by himself having fun. So
With us.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Or
with that-
or Peyton. So yeah, this do we want to say goodbye individually like we sometimes do?
Yep. Thank you,
That is
everyone.
good night.
Go, Distorted Flare. Just talk.
I will. It's a shut up, you prick from me, and shut up, you prick from him.
Once again, this has been Flutter Priest, Ravage,
Hello.
Seventh Heaven,
bye.
Flam,
And
Carrier.
did I
The
get
guy who's
promoted?
apparently ugly, hot, and handsome
Obsessed
and
with.
heart at the same time.
And and a non-pencil.
Bye guys, thanks for coming.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep,
I
bye.
died.